The Illuminati is often shrouded in mystery, intrigue, and a plethora of conspiracy theories. To understand the roots of this enigmatic group, we must travel back to the late 18th century, when a small group of intellectuals in Europe formed an organization that would spark intense speculation and folklore for centuries to come. The story begins in Bavaria, a region in what is now Germany, during the Age of Enlightenment. This was a time marked by a thirst for knowledge, reason, and the questioning of traditional authority, particularly that of the monarchy and the church. On May 1, 1776, a professor named Adam Weishaupt founded the Bavarian Illuminati, which sought to promote Enlightenment ideals, rational thought, and secular governance. Weishaupt envisioned his group as a clandestine society that would educate its members to become enlightened leaders who could reshape society. Members were carefully selected, often from the ranks of academia, and included philosophers, lawyers, and influential figures. The group operated in secrecy, employing rituals and initiations similar to Freemasonry, which was gaining popularity at the time. The Illuminati's goals were ambitious. They aimed to influence political decisions, challenge the prevailing religious doctrines, and advocate for individual freedom and expression. They believed that through knowledge and reason, they could foster a more just and equitable society. However, they quickly gained a reputation for being secretive and subversive, leading to paranoia among established institutions. By the late 1780s, the Bavarian government began to take notice of the activities of the Illuminati. Fearing the potential upheaval these ideas could cause, the authorities banned secret societies in 1785, effectively dismantling the Illuminati. But rather than fading into obscurity, the tales of the Illuminati evolved, and their legacy began to take on a life of its own. In the years following their disbandment, conspiracy theories began to emerge around the perceived influence of the Illuminati. Some believed that they had gone underground, operating discreetly from the shadows, continuing to orchestrate world events. Their supposed ability to manipulate governments, economies, and cultural movements became a captivating narrative. This idea has been fueled by various historical events and the rise of political uprisings that seemed aligned with their principles. For instance, the French Revolution, which began in 1789, led some to believe that the Illuminati had a hand in inciting the rebellion against the monarchy. This was partly due to the fact that many influential figures of that time were proponents of Enlightenment thought, and the revolution itself shared a vision of liberty and equality, similar to that of Weishaupt's original ideals. Such events only deepened the mystique surrounding the group. As the years went by, the concept of the Illuminati morphed further, becoming associated with a range of movements and ideologies. In the 20th century, conspiracy theories flourished with the advent of mass media. Books, movies, and television shows began incorporating the Illuminati into their narratives, often portraying them as a shadowy group controlling world governments and financial systems. Prominent figures, such as politicians and business leaders, were often rumored to be part of this elite organization. This sensational representation led to a frenzy of speculation linking the Illuminati to nearly every major event in modern history. Some of the more popular claims include their supposed influence over wars, the establishment of the United Nations, and even events as recent as the technological advances of the digital age. They have been characterized as puppet masters pulling the strings from behind the scenes, a narrative that feeds into a deeper distrust of authority and institutions. Throughout the centuries, the idea of the Illuminati has also intertwined with various social and cultural movements. The fear of secret societies has often found its way into the fabric of popular culture, exemplifying society's obsession with the unknown and the unseen forces that shape our lives. The fascination continues to thrive in our modern era, manifesting in various forms of media, echoing historical fears resonating through generations. Even today, discussions regarding the Illuminati challenge us to consider deeper themes of power, control, and the nature of authority. What does it mean for knowledge and truth to be hidden? How do perceptions of secrecy influence our understanding of history and current events? These questions linger in the backgrounds of our thoughts as we navigate a world that constantly shifts and evolves. So as we explore the origins and narratives surrounding the Illuminati, we find a wealth of ideas that reflect our curiosity, fears, and aspirations. The legacy of this group reveals much about human nature and the lengths to which people will go to seek truth and meaning in a complex world. While the historical Illuminati may have faded, their story continues to provoke thought, inspire creativity, and perhaps even caution us about the peril of unchecked power. It is essential to remember that while the story of the Illuminati may serve as entertainment or as a cautionary tale, the real influence lies in the conversations it sparks about society, governance, and the broader human experience. What drives the narratives around such groups is our desire to understand the forces that shape our destinies, however unseen they may be. Nestled in the Nevada desert, a location known as Area 51 has captured the imagination of countless people around the world. This secretive military base has long been shrouded in mystery and intrigue, spawning numerous theories about extraterrestrial life and advanced technology. What is it about Area 51 that has led to such a fervent fascination? Let's explore some of the captivating secrets surrounding this enigmatic site. Area 51, officially known as the Nevada Test and Training Range, is a remote part of the Edwards Air Force Base complex. Back in the 1950s, the U.S. government established it to test experimental aircraft and develop new technology. At that time, the Cold War was at its peak, and advanced aeronautical developments were essential for national security. It was a time filled with uncertainty, and secrecy became paramount. The base was hidden from public view, and its operations were often classified, which only added to its intrigue. One of the most captivating aspects of Area 51 is the numerous reports and claims regarding unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. Since the late 1940s, rumors have swirled that spacecraft from other worlds have been spotted in the skies above this remote area. The modern UFO phenomenon can be traced back to this time, beginning with the Roswell Incident in 1947 when an alleged alien spacecraft was said to have crashed in New Mexico. Though the government claimed it was a weather balloon, many conspiracy theorists believe it was a cover-up. This incident set the stage for people to connect UFO sightings to Area 51, further fueling speculation. Stories of alien encounters intensified when individuals claimed to have worked at Area 51. Whistleblowers, such as Bob Lazar, emerged in the late 1980s, asserting that he had first-hand experience with recovered extraterrestrial technology. According to Lazar, he had worked on reverse engineering alien spacecraft, and even claimed to have seen beings from another world. His statements ignited a firestorm of interest and skepticism, leading many to question the true nature of activities at the base. Lazar's assertions painted a picture of secretive experiments and contact with otherworldly entities, capturing the minds of enthusiasts and skeptics alike. As the years passed, the government began to acknowledge Area 51's existence. In 2013, the CIA officially unsealed documents detailing the base's role as a testing ground for experimental aircraft, such as the U-2 spy plane. This revelation provided some clarity, but also left many lingering questions. If the government was willing to admit to some activities, what else remained hidden? The secrecy surrounding Area 51 continued to fuel even more intense speculation and conspiracy theories. Theories range from the plausible to the downright bizarre, encompassing everything from time travel to advanced weaponry and the preservation of alien bodies. One particularly gripping narrative revolves around the alleged live alien encounters. Some believe that the base not only houses crashed alien crafts, but also extraterrestrial beings themselves. According to these tales, researchers at Area 51 have conducted studies on these beings, seeking to understand their biology and technology. These stories often invoke themes of government cover-ups and the public's right to know what is happening. The idea of beings from another world living among us has an alluring and unsettling quality, striking a chord with those who wonder what else might exist beyond our understanding. Beyond extraterrestrial theories, Area 51 has been linked to a plethora of other advanced military projects. For example, rumors have circulated about the development of stealth technology that would change the face of aerial warfare. Stealth aircraft, designed to evade detection by radar, could offer a significant advantage. Imagining a plane that can blend seamlessly into the sky is not only intriguing, but also points to the capabilities of human engineering and innovation. The mystery surrounding Area 51 has even seeped into popular culture, inspiring countless movies, books, and television shows. This cultural phenomenon reflects society's fascination with the unknown. The base appears in everything from classic sci-fi films to modern thrillers, often portrayed as a secret hub of advanced technology and alien investigation. These portrayals keep the legend of Area 51 alive in the public consciousness, reinforcing its status as a symbol of mystery. The allure of Area 51 is not just about extraterrestrial beings or advanced technology. It represents humanity's eternal quest for knowledge and understanding of the unknown. We often find ourselves drawn to what we cannot see or fully comprehend. This insatiable curiosity is what drives scientific inquiry and fuels our imagination. In that way, Area 51 is a reflection of our deepest desires: to explore, to discover, and perhaps to uncover truths that have remained elusive for so long. As technology advances and our understanding of the universe expands, the fascination with Area 51 continues. As we look to the stars and ponder the possibility of life beyond our planet, this secretive base will likely remain at the center of speculation and wonder. Whether the stories of extraterrestrial encounters are rooted in truth or fiction, they spark our creativity and drive us to explore the mysteries of the universe. The legend of Area 51 endures, reminding us that sometimes the unknown is just as captivating as the answers we seek. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy on November 22, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, remains one of the most scrutinized events in American history. More than half a century later, it still sparks debate and intrigue, leading to numerous theories about what really happened that fateful day. The official story, outlined in the Warren Commission report, states that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in shooting Kennedy. However, this conclusion has been questioned and debated by many, giving rise to various conspiracy theories. One of the earliest theories suggests that there was a second shooter involved in the assassination. Proponents of this idea point to the so-called grassy knoll, a small hill adjacent to Dealey Plaza. Witnesses claim to have heard shots coming from that direction, which raises the question: could Oswald have acted alone? This theory suggests that the presence of another gunman would mean a coordinated effort to carry out the assassination, heightening the involvement of more people. Another popular theory posits that the U.S. government itself orchestrated the assassination. Some theorists believe that Kennedy's push for civil rights, opposition to the Vietnam War, and plans to dismantle the CIA made him a target. The theory posits that intelligence agencies perceived him as a threat, and that orchestrating his assassination would be a way to eliminate that threat while making it look like a lone act of violence. This narrative captures the imagination and raises questions about the extent of power and influence within government agencies. Continuing with the theme of government involvement, some believe that organized crime had a role in Kennedy's assassination. This theory points to his family's historical ties to the mob, particularly through his father, Joseph Kennedy. It is suggested that after the Kennedy administration began cracking down on organized crime, mob leaders viewed Kennedy as a liability. The potential collaboration between these crime figures and the assassination plot raises the specter of intrigue, betrayal, and conspiracy. Another eerie angle involves the influence of the CIA. This theory suggests that the agency was unhappy with Kennedy's policies, particularly after the Bay of Pigs invasion and the Cuban Missile Crisis. Some believe the CIA wanted to send a message to other political leaders about the cost of defiance. This line of thought raises questions about the lengths to which powerful organizations might go to protect their interests, even if it means taking extreme measures. As conspiracy theories about the Kennedy assassination proliferated, many turned their attention to who might have had a motive. Some proponents of the conspiracy theory argue that Lyndon B. Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy after his death, was in a position to benefit from the assassination. The idea here is that Johnson's political ambitions were seemingly aligned with the interests of powerful business interests and political factions at the time, casting a shadow on his legacy. Then there are theories that involve foreign adversaries. Although the initial reaction pointed towards domestic players, some have speculated that agents from Cuba or even the Soviet Union played a role. Given the tense Cold War climate, the idea of an international conspiracy becomes an alluring narrative. These theories analyze the geopolitical landscape, the influence of global politics on domestic events, and the possibility of retaliatory acts during a time of heightened international tensions. Turning to more fringe theories, some have suggested that the assassination was part of an elaborate plan involving extraterrestrial forces or secret societies. These theories often dive into the world of the unusual and the bizarre, exploring the notion that powerful groups may manipulate public perception and historical events for their own ends. While they are often dismissed by mainstream historians, they highlight how the human mind exhaustively seeks explanations, especially for situations shrouded in mystery. Despite the dramatic array of theories and interpretations surrounding his assassination, what remains consistent is the impact of that tragic day. The event not only shaped the course of American politics, but also influenced public trust in institutions. The intrigue surrounding the assassination has lasted, captivating new generations of researchers, journalists, and enthusiasts eager to uncover the truth. What connects these theories is a common thread of skepticism toward official narratives. The assassination has become a symbol of distrust in government and authority, an event that incited questions about transparency and the power dynamics at play in society. As details and discussions continue to unfold, the legacy of John F. Kennedy has been preserved in the complex layers of his assassination theories. These theories engage the imagination and emphasize the consequences of loss, elevating one man's death into an intricate puzzle that extends beyond its immediate aftermath. In conclusion, the assassination of John F. Kennedy serves not only as a pivotal moment in history, but also as a fertile ground for conspiracy theories. Each theory reflects people's deep-seated need to make sense of chaos and to seek the truth amidst uncertainty. As the dialogue about the events of that day continues, we are reminded of how history is often written not just by the victors, but by everyone influenced by the impacts of such monumental events. The layers of conspiracy may confuse or complicate the truth, yet they also offer a glimpse into the belief system that governs society's perceptions of power, loss, and agency. This ongoing discourse keeps the memory of JFK alive, reminding future generations about the need for vigilance, inquiry, and the quest for understanding in the face of adversity. The moon landing in 1969 is one of the most monumental achievements in human history. On July 20th, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the lunar surface, while Michael Collins orbited above in the command module. However, this monumental event has been a source of controversy and debate for over 50 years, with a persistent theory suggesting it was all staged. Many proponents of the moon landing hoax theory assert that the entire event was a fabrication created by NASA and the U.S. government. This theory gained momentum during the 1970s and has persisted in popular culture. It centers around several key arguments that question the authenticity of the footage and evidence presented to the public. One of the most notable claims made by hoax theorists involves the appearance of the American flag. In the famous footage of Aldrin planting the flag, it appears to be waving despite the fact that there is no atmosphere on the moon to create wind. Skeptics point to this as proof that the event was filmed in a studio. However, experts have explained that the flag was designed with a horizontal rod to hold it outstretched, giving the illusion of movement. As the astronauts handled the flag during the planting process, the fabric appeared to ripple briefly, contributing to this misconception. Another argument presented by believers of the hoax theory concerns the lighting in the photographs taken on the lunar surface. They argue that the shadows cast by the astronauts and equipment do not line up as they should if there were only one light source, the sun. This inconsistency leads some to conclude that multiple light sources were used, suggesting an artificial setting. However, those who understand the physics of light recognize that the unique lunar landscape and the position of the astronauts can create optical illusions that may cause shadows to appear uneven. Furthermore, some theorists claim that the lack of stars in the lunar photographs serves as evidence of tampering. They argue that if the astronauts were truly on the moon, the night sky would be filled with countless stars. In reality, the camera settings had to be adjusted for the bright surface of the moon, which meant that the star's light was too faint to be captured in those photographs. This explanation often gets overlooked by those who question the authenticity of the mission. Proponents of the hoax theory also frequently cite the apparent lack of lunar lander footprints and the way dust settled around the landing module as evidence of a staged event. They suggest that the surface looked too clean and pristine, leading them to believe it was a fabricated scene. However, scientists explain that the moon's low gravity allows the dust to settle uniformly, preserving the appearance of the surface. The footprints left by the astronauts show a clear imprint, which is consistent with the moon's fine, dry dust. Believers in the moon landing hoax theory often bring up mysterious disappearances and lack of evidence to bolster their claims. They argue that we haven't seen entire Apollo missions documented in their entirety and that some vital footage is missing. They pose questions about the absence of lunar rocks in government archives and explore the lack of independent verification of the lunar missions. However, it is essential to note that thousands of pieces of evidence from various sources, including telemetry data, photographs, and video footage, support the authenticity of the moon landing. Conspiracy theories thrive on skepticism, and the moon landing hoax theory is no exception. Its believers often suggest that the government staged the landing to distract from domestic issues or as a way to beat the Soviet Union during the space race. The Cold War context lends itself to these theories, as a definitive victory in space could boost national pride and confidence. The idea that an alleged hoax was meticulously orchestrated has sparked conversations around trust in government institutions and our perception of reality. Interestingly, some figures have jumped on the bandwagon of the moon landing hoax, using it as a platform to promote their own agendas. This aspect often overlaps with broader conspiracy thinking in modern society, where skepticism can fuel doubts about established facts. Over time, the moon landing hoax theory has woven itself into popular culture, leading to documentaries, books, and even fictional films that explore the premise and its implications. Despite the persistence of this theory, numerous scientists, engineers, and historians have thoroughly debunked the moon landing hoax claims. The overwhelming evidence collected from lunar missions, artifacts, and international collaborations with space agencies proves beyond a reasonable doubt that humanity landed on the moon in 1969. Many countries, including those that were rivals during the Cold War, have used technology from those missions to derive their findings and make advancements in space exploration. In conclusion, while the moon landing hoax theory may be fascinating for some, it remains a conspiracy theory unsupported by credible evidence. The Apollo missions represent not just the triumph of technology and human spirit, but also an unprecedented collaboration across borders. By understanding these claims and examining the facts surrounding the lunar landings, we can appreciate the dedication and achievement that went into one of humankind's greatest moments. The excitement of exploration, the pursuit of knowledge, and the courage to venture into the unknown are hallmarks of what makes the story of the moon landing so compelling, inspiring generations to follow the path of discovery. On the fateful day of September 11, 2001, the world watched in horror as a series of coordinated terrorist attacks unfolded in the United States. The attacks resulted in the destruction of the World Trade Center towers, significant damage to the Pentagon, and the loss of nearly 3,000 innocent lives. In the aftermath of this tragedy, a number of conspiracy theories emerged, seeking to explain the events of that day through alternative narratives. These theories have captured the imaginations of many, prompting discussions and debates that continue to this day. One of the most prominent conspiracy theories revolves around the idea that the United States government had prior knowledge of the attacks and allowed them to happen to justify military action in the Middle East. Proponents of this theory cite alleged warnings received by government officials, suggesting that they could have acted to prevent the attacks, but chose not to do so for ulterior motives. This theory stems from a deep mistrust of government institutions and a belief that powerful entities may manipulate events for their own gain. Another theory posits that the World Trade Center towers' collapse was not solely the result of the impact from the planes, but was aided by a controlled demolition. Some claim that the manner in which the buildings fell, straight down into their footprints, resembles a controlled demolition, rather than the chaotic collapse expected from a structural failure caused by fire and impact. Supporters of this theory highlight various reports of explosions heard before and during the collapse, pointing to anomalies in the collapse sequence as evidence of foul play. Although experts and engineers have thoroughly investigated the collapse and attribute it to the damage from the planes and the subsequent fires, the controlled demolition theory persists as a point of fascination for many. Flight 93, which was hijacked on September 11th, is often the subject of conspiracy discussions. Some theorists suggest that the plane was shot down by the military instead of crashing into its intended target, which is believed to have been either the White House or the U.S. Capitol. They argue that this was a necessary action to prevent a larger disaster, presenting eyewitness testimonies and unusual radar readings as supporting evidence. However, official reports indicate that heroic passengers on Flight 93 fought back against the hijackers, ultimately leading to its crash in a field in Pennsylvania, far from the target. The controversies extend to the alleged involvement of various groups in the attacks. While it is widely accepted that the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda orchestrated the attacks, some conspiracy theories propose that other entities, such as the Israeli Mossad, various arms of the U.S. government, or secret societies, had a hand in facilitating the attacks for their own purposes. These theories often draw upon speculation, selective interpretation of evidence, or mistrust of mainstream narratives. They thrive on the idea that the truth behind major historical events is often obfuscated by those in power, making them an appealing but distinct departure from established facts. Some conspiracy theories also claim that the events of September 11th were part of a larger plan known as the New World Order, suggesting that the attacks were a catalyst for widespread surveillance, the erosion of civil liberties, and increased military intervention abroad. Proponents argue that leveraging fear can expedite societal changes and manipulate public opinion. This perspective highlights the tension between personal freedoms and government security measures that emerged in the wake of the attacks, leading to the implementation of policies such as the USA Patriot Act. The complex mix of facts, speculation, and skepticism surrounding the September 11th attacks makes it fertile ground for conspiracy theories to flourish. In the age of the internet, these theories find a broader audience and are easily shared, allowing them to gain traction. This phenomenon underscores the human propensity to search for meaning during times of uncertainty and to question official explanations when they seem unpalatable. As we examine these narratives, it is crucial to approach them with a critical mindset, while acknowledging the emotions and fears that drive them. Events like September 11th provoke deep feelings of vulnerability and a desire to understand how such tragedies can occur. Conspiracy theories often offer a simplified explanation for complex events, providing individuals with a sense of agency in a chaotic world. By navigating these discussions thoughtfully, we can better understand the interplay between belief, skepticism, and the quest for truth. Throughout history, major events have often been cloaked in mystery, leading to questions that linger long after the dust has settled. While the September 11th attacks stand as a painful chapter in history, the theories that emerged highlight society's ongoing struggle to comprehend tragedies and the motivations behind them. As investigations and research continue, and as survivors and witnesses share their stories, the facts surrounding that day remain essential to honoring those who were lost, while fostering an environment of inquiry that seeks to understand rather than simply dismiss. In conclusion, the theories surrounding the September 11th attacks reflect a broader human experience of grappling with fear, distrust, and the quest for truth. They challenge us to consider how societies respond to trauma and the narratives we construct to make sense of the unimaginable. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in history, we are reminded of the importance of seeking clarity and understanding in all aspects of life, acknowledging both the factual realities and the complex emotions involved. The concept of a New World Order has intrigued, puzzled, and often alarmed people throughout history. This idea revolves around the belief that a secretive power elite is conspiring to control the world, orchestrating events, and influencing governments and institutions from the shadows. This notion is woven into the fabric of various conspiracy theories, reflecting societal fears and a human penchant for seeking explanations for complex global phenomena. To understand the New World Order, it's essential to explore the historical context. Throughout time, there have been real instances of powerful individuals and groups manipulating events to expand their control. Political leaders and influential figures have often acted in ways that suggest a pursuit of power beyond mere governance. For example, during the Cold War, geopolitical tensions were manipulated by major powers to establish influence over lesser nations. These events laid the groundwork for the narrative that powerful elites can shape world affairs to their advantage, reinforcing beliefs and hidden agendas. A common theme in discussions about the New World Order is the idea that events, such as wars, economic crises, and political upheavals, are not mere coincidences, but the result of orchestrated actions by a select few. Some people point to organizations like the United Nations or the World Bank as potential players in a larger scheme. They argue that these institutions, which purport to work for global cooperation and economic stability, could actually be fronts for a more sinister agenda of control and manipulation. The allure of the New World Order idea often lies in its ability to explain feelings of helplessness in an increasingly complex world. With rapid technological advancements, widespread misinformation, and shifting global power dynamics, many feel adrift and confused. The concept offers a framework through which to understand the chaos around them. For some, believing in a hidden group pulling the strings provides a sense of empowerment by allowing them to believe they are aware of the, quote, truth, a truth concealed from the general populace. Furthermore, the New World Order narrative often incorporates the idea of surveillance and data privacy. With the advent of the internet and social media, personal data is more vulnerable than ever, giving rise to concerns about privacy and the potential for mass surveillance. This allows for a new layer of conspiracy theories, as individuals speculate that a powerful elite could use technology to monitor and manipulate public behavior on a grand scale. This reflects deeper anxieties about personal autonomy in a highly interconnected world. Cultural phenomena also play a significant role in spreading the idea of the New World Order. Films, documentaries, and literature often delve into themes of conspiracy, espionage, and political maneuvering. These narratives resonate with audiences, creating a sense of intrigue and curiosity. Pop culture references can shape and reinforce the belief in a hidden elite governing world events. This dynamic creates a feedback loop where fiction influences perception and reality is interpreted through a conspiratorial lens. Moreover, the New World Order concept can intersect with various ideologies and beliefs. Different groups may co-opt the narrative to align with their agendas, from anti-establishment movements to fringe theories proposing that secret societies like the Illuminati control significant aspects of society. This flexibility allows the concept to endure and adapt through changing political landscapes and social contexts. The idea of a new world order also comes to light during times of crisis. When global events unfold, be it a pandemic, economic downturn, or political strife, there is often a surge in conspiracy theories. Many seek explanations that point to hidden forces at play, rather than random chance. This tendency becomes particularly pronounced when trust in institutions erodes, leading people to look for alternative narratives that portray simpler villains. Ultimately, the New World Order theory represents a search for meaning in a complicated world. It taps into the human desire for coherence and agency, offering a storyline that connects disparate events and feeds into the narrative of a struggle against unseen powers. While many skeptics argue that these beliefs often lack substantial evidence, they undeniably reflect widespread concerns about sovereignty, autonomy, and accountability in an age defined by increasing globalization and interdependence. As discussions around the New World Order continue to evolve, it becomes essential to distinguish between legitimate critique of power structures and unfounded conspiratorial thinking. Engaging with these ideas thoughtfully affords an opportunity to explore the dynamics of power in contemporary societies without devolving into paranoia. Recognizing our innate desire to understand complexity can deepen our insights into how society works in the intricate web of relationships that shape our world. In conclusion, the New World Order serves as a fascinating lens through which to examine not just conspiracy, but also the broader human condition. It reflects our fears, hopes, and the ongoing struggle between knowledge and ignorance in an ever-changing landscape. Understanding this concept requires a balance between open inquiry and critical thinking, inviting us to reflect on how we navigate the contradictions of our time. Engaging with such narratives is crucial as we seek to understand our place within the larger tapestry of human history and society. In 1947, a remarkable event took place in Roswell, New Mexico, that has captured the imagination of people for decades. Initially, it began with a report from the military, claiming they had recovered a, quote, flying disc from the desert. This announcement sparked excitement and curiosity, but the narrative quickly shifted. Soon after the initial declaration, the U.S. Army stated that what was found was merely a weather balloon, not a mysterious spacecraft. This swift change in the official story led to rampant speculation and conspiracy theories. Many began to wonder if the government was hiding something much more significant. Observers noted that the area around Roswell had long been associated with strange sightings and unexplained phenomena. Locals spoke of witnessing unusual lights in the sky, strange noises, and even odd shapes darting through the atmosphere. The ensuing years saw the Roswell Incident morph into one of the most famous UFO events in history. Books, documentaries, and countless discussions were dedicated to the theories surrounding the incident. Some suggested that alien visitors had indeed crashed, and the government was covering up evidence of extraterrestrial life. Others argued that rather than a spacecraft, the recovered debris was linked to classified military projects. As the years passed, the Roswell incident became intertwined with cultural narratives about alien life and conspiracy theories. The idea of government cover-ups and secret experiments fueled a desire to uncover hidden truths. This curiosity has sprouted a subculture dedicated to finding evidence of UFOs and understanding the implications of life beyond Earth. One of the key elements in the fascination with Roswell is the concept of Area 51, a highly classified U.S. Air Force facility near Groom Lake, Nevada. Area 51 has become synonymous with UFO lore, with many believing that it harbors evidence of extraterrestrial technology and governmental secrecy. The thought of a secret base where alien spacecraft are studied adds to the mystique and allure of not just Roswell, but the entire phenomenon of UFOs. Over the decades, documentaries, feature films, and television shows have portrayed the Roswell incident in various lights. Movies often dramatize the possibilities of alien encounters, and shows delve deep into conspiracy theories that surround not only Roswell but UFO sightings worldwide. This portrayal has contributed to a societal fascination with the unknown and the idea that we may not be alone in the universe. Additionally, the Roswell Incident has inspired numerous books and research. Authors and enthusiasts seek to deconstruct the layers of this mystery, presenting theories that range from the plausible to the entirely speculative. They discuss government documents and testimonies, claiming that evidence of UFOs and interactions with extraterrestrial beings has been suppressed for decades. While many remain skeptical about the existence of extraterrestrial life, the allure of these mysteries continues to thrive. The possibility that we might once have had visitors from other worlds tantalizes the imagination, leading to questions about what exists beyond our current understanding of the cosmos. Could other intelligent beings have visited us? Are we truly alone, or is there much more to uncover? As the dialogue around the Roswell incident has evolved, it has also sparked a broader interest in the questions of existence and our place in the universe. People from various walks of life engage in discussions about our solar system, the vastness of space, and the search for life on other planets. Scientists have gotten involved, launching missions to other planets to gather data and explore possibilities of life beyond Earth. In modern times, interest in UFOs has surged, with several governments around the world beginning to release previously classified information. These revelations have only intensified the ongoing conversation about the nature of these unidentified flying objects. The idea that our skies may hold secrets unknown raises new possibilities for exploration and discovery. Ultimately, the Roswell incident serves as a foundational moment in the ongoing exploration of the unknown. It has become a symbol of curiosity, skepticism, and the human desire to understand the universe and what lies beyond our planet. The theories and discussions rooted in this event continue to inspire, ignite wonder, and challenge our perceptions of reality. The Roswell incident reminds us that while many questions remain unanswered, it is this very quest for knowledge that drives humanity forward. Whether or not we find definitive proof of extraterrestrial visitors, the intrigue sparked by events like Roswell encourages us to keep searching, questioning, and dreaming. In a universe so vast, the journey of discovery has only just begun. In recent years, a fascinating theory has emerged surrounding the trails left behind by aircraft in the sky. These trails, known as contrails, are formed when water vapor from engine exhaust meets the cold, high-altitude atmosphere. The result is the visible streaks that you might have noticed as planes fly overhead. However, some individuals propose that these contrails have a far more sinister nature. They argue that what we see are not just harmless vapor trails, but rather chemtrails, believed to be composed of various chemical or biological agents deliberately dispersed. The premise of the chemtrail theory is rooted in the observation that contrails can sometimes linger in the sky for extended periods, spreading out and forming cloud-like formations. Some proponents suggest that this phenomenon indicates the use of chemicals intended for weather manipulation, population control, or even mind control. As captivating as these ideas are, the discussion around chemtrails is as varied and complex as the skies themselves. One of the key points that supporters of the chemtrail theory often cite is the timing and location of these trails. Observers note that certain areas, particularly urban or densely populated regions, tend to see more frequent and persistent contrails. This has led some to connect these trails with government or military operations. The idea is that these activities are conducted covertly, under the guise of commercial air traffic, leading to widespread speculation and concern. Furthermore, some chemtrail theorists delve into the health implications of these alleged chemical sprays. They point to various health issues, such as respiratory ailments and unexplained illnesses, drawing a connection between these conditions and the trails left by planes. This has fueled a growing community of individuals who advocate for more transparency regarding what substances might be used in these skyward maneuvers. They argue that if there are chemicals in the atmosphere, the public has a right to understand the potential risks involved. While chemtrail enthusiasts passionately share their beliefs, it is important to note that science offers a different perspective. The scientific community largely supports the understanding that contrails are primarily formed from water vapor. When conditions are right, such as certain altitudes and humidity levels, these contrails can persist. Factors such as air temperature, humidity, and atmospheric pressure play significant roles in the behavior and longevity of these trails. In fact, researchers have studied these formations extensively and argue that the lingering nature of some contrails can actually be explained by atmospheric conditions rather than any nefarious intent. Moreover, numerous governmental and scientific organizations have publicly debunked the chemtrail theory. Reports from agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, indicate that the substances produced by aircraft are primarily harmless. They emphasize that the environmental effects of regular flying practices have been monitored and regulated over the years. Another captivating aspect of the chemtrail theory is the psychological phenomenon known as conspiracy thinking. It is interesting to consider why some people are drawn to these theories. Humans tend to seek understanding and explanation in an often unpredictable world. For many, this may provide a sense of agency in the face of larger, uncontrollable forces. When faced with environmental changes or health concerns, it can become an instinct to look for external factors that seem to influence our lives. This behavior illustrates a deep-seated need to grasp the complexities of our environment and ensure that we feel safe within it. These conversations continue to evolve, showcasing the interaction between public perception and scientific inquiry. As individuals share experiences and observations about their surroundings, the narrative around chemtrails becomes more intricate. Whether people believe in the existence of chemtrails or dismiss them as a mere conspiracy, the discussions they spur can lead to broader reflections on trust in institutions, environmental policy, and personal safety. In essence, the topic of chemtrails invites both curiosity and debate. The mystery surrounding these aerial trails prompts questions about our world, our health, and the role of authority in our lives. As complex as the skies are, so too are the ideas surrounding what goes on above us. Whether viewed skeptically or with intrigue, the exploration of this subject opens a window into how we grapple with information, belief, and the ever-changing landscape of knowledge. As we look up at the sky, let us be reminded of the intricate dance between science and belief, the layers of atmosphere that hold untold stories, and the importance of inquiry in understanding the world around us. We may find ourselves peering through clouds of uncertainty, but it is through dialogue and understanding that we can seek out clarity in the vast expanse above. On March 8, 2014, a commercial flight known as Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia, bound for Beijing Capital International Airport in China. This was a standard flight involving a Boeing 777-200ER, a well-known and reliable aircraft. Excitement filled the cabin as 239 passengers and crew members settled into their seats, ready for the journey ahead. However, what followed has since become one of aviation history's most enduring mysteries. Minutes after takeoff, communication with the flight was normal. The pilot and co-pilot exchanged routine messages with air traffic control. At 1:19 a.m., the aircraft was last heard from. The exchange between MH370 and ground control was routine, until suddenly the plane disappeared from radar screens. It left no sign of distress, and the flight took an unexpected turn, flying southwest instead of the expected northeastern route towards Beijing. This sudden deviation raised immediate concerns. As search and rescue missions began, authorities from multiple countries mobilized in response to the emergency. They conducted searches across vast stretches of land and sea. The initial focus was on the South China Sea, where the aircraft was last known to be located. Ships and aircraft scoured the waters, searching for any sign of the missing plane. Despite their efforts, the ocean offered no clues, and the days turned into weeks with no trace. The investigation took a new direction when satellite data revealed that the plane had continued flying for several hours after losing contact. The crucial Inmarsat satellite took over the role of tracking the aircraft, offering vital information through a series of automated, quote, handshakes that indicated the plane's location. Analysts pieced together a flight path that suggested the plane had headed toward the southern Indian Ocean, a remote and desolate area that complicated search efforts. Over the next few years, search teams scoured the Indian Ocean, combing through vast expanses of water and rugged seafloors. Despite their relentless efforts and advances in technology, debris from the aircraft surfaced only sporadically. In July 2015, a wing flaperon was discovered on Reunion Island, a French territory in the Indian Ocean. This piece of evidence confirmed that MH370 had crashed into the sea, but it left investigators with many questions. The search became the most extensive and expensive in aviation history, involving numerous countries and advanced underwater vehicles, capable of exploring depths that were previously unimaginable. But the ocean, with its mysterious and unstable nature, proved to be a formidable adversary. Over the years, several more pieces of debris were found along the coasts of Africa and various islands across the Indian Ocean, providing tangible proof that the aircraft had indeed met a tragic end. As investigation teams delved into the aircraft's systems and crew background, theories began to emerge regarding the circumstances of the disappearance. Some speculated that a catastrophic failure could have occurred aboard the plane, leading to the sudden loss of control. Others posited that human intervention may have played a role, suggesting intentional actions by the pilot or crew. Yet, despite exhaustive investigations, no definitive answers emerged, leaving families and experts grappling with uncertainty. Public interest in MH370 has persisted over the years, with numerous documentaries, articles, and books examining the mystery from various angles. The search for answers continues, and many have begun to draw inspiration from the story's enigmatic nature, underscoring themes of resilience and the quest for understanding in the face of tragedy. The flight's disappearance raises existential questions about the unknown and our connection to the vastness of the world around us. What makes the story of MH370 particularly haunting is that it embodies the unpredictability of human existence and technology. In a world where most journeys are completed without a hitch, the sudden loss of an entire aircraft challenges our sense of safety and normalcy. It highlights the delicate interplay between technology, human decision-making, and fate. As we consider the mystery of MH370, it serves as a poignant reminder of our vulnerabilities and the incredible distances we have yet to traverse in understanding the mysteries of both the skies and our world. While it is a tale marked by loss and sorrow, it is also one of resilience and the unquenchable spirit of inquiry. Those who journeyed on that ill-fated flight will never be forgotten, and the search for truth continues to resonate, driving the aviation community and the public alike to ensure that such mysteries do not fade into oblivion. Their story reminds us all that we must cherish every journey and regard each moment as precious as we navigate the often unpredictable currents of life. The Philadelphia Experiment is a captivating tale that combines elements of naval history, science fiction, and conspiracy theory. It revolves around an alleged military experiment conducted by the U.S. Navy during World War II, purportedly aimed at making naval ships invisible to enemy radar. The story has since become the focus of various legends and urban myths, leading people to question the boundaries between fact and fiction. According to the most popular accounts, the experiment took place in 1943 at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard and involved the USS Eldridge, a destroyer escort. The primary objective was to develop technology that could render naval vessels invisible, providing an advantage in wartime situations. The narrative suggests that the project was based on the theoretical principles of electromagnetic fields, which, when applied in a specific way, could bend light and make objects unseen. The story gains complexity when it introduces the idea of teleportation. Some reports claim that during the experiment, the USS Eldridge not only became invisible, but also teleported to another location. The accounts vary, with some stating that the ship appeared in Norfolk, Virginia, about 200 miles away, before returning to its original position in Philadelphia. Those who claim to have witnessed these events speak of a blinding flash of light and a sudden disappearance, painting a picture of an extraordinary and mysterious occurrence. As the narrative spread, allegations emerged that the experiment had devastating consequences for the crew. Some sailors reportedly experienced severe psychological trauma, while others became entrapped in the ship's metal structure. This dark twist fueled speculation and conspiracy theories about the military's involvement in mind control, experimentation on unwilling subjects, and the broader implications of such technologies. The tale of the Philadelphia experiment took a significant leap into popular culture in the 1980s when it was featured in books, documentaries, and films. Charles Berlitz, a well-known author, wrote The Philadelphia Experiment, Project Invisibility, which presented the events as factual, lending credibility to the urban legend. Berlitz's portrayal captured the imagination of many and encouraged further exploration into the story's origins and potential truths. However, while the Philadelphia experiment has intrigued a generation of mystery enthusiasts, it is essential to note the lack of concrete evidence supporting the claims. The U.S. Navy has consistently denied that such an experiment took place, and many skeptics argue that the claims originated from a combination of misinterpretations, exaggerations, and myth-making. The credibility of the witnesses has also been called into question. Some individuals who came forward to describe their experiences, demonstrated inconsistent recollections, further muddying the waters of this already enigmatic story. The lack of documentation, combined with the passing of decades, has made it difficult to ascertain the reality behind the claims. Scholars and enthusiasts have since examined the scientific principles that may have inspired the myth. Concepts from physics, such as electromagnetic fields and the nature of light, intrigue those curious about how invisibility could theoretically be achieved. Scientists and researchers acknowledge that while invisibility cloak technology is an emerging field based on manipulating light, such advancements are far from the fantastical ideas suggested by the narrative of the Philadelphia experiment. This complex tapestry of myth, science, and military secrecy continues to spark dialogue. Investigators delve into the implications of perception and reality, recognizing that the line between the two can sometimes blur, especially when national security is involved. The Philadelphia experiment serves as a rich metaphor for human curiosity and the desire to push the boundaries of what we believe to be possible. Ultimately, whether one sees the Philadelphia experiment as a genuine occurrence or simply a myth rooted in post-war anxieties, it evokes a sense of wonder. The story encompasses themes of transformation, the unknown, and the lengths to which humanity might go in the name of progress. It challenges our understanding of technology and power, raising ethical questions about experimentation and its potential consequences. In conclusion, the Philadelphia experiment stands as a fascinating blend of history, speculation, and imagination. It invites individuals to ponder the mysteries beyond our current understanding, while also reminding us that some of the most compelling stories often stem from our darkest fears and greatest aspirations. The allure of the unknown continues to resonate, ensuring that the legend of the Philadelphia experiment will endure in the collective consciousness for years to come, stimulating curiosity and igniting the flames of imagination. In the world of music, few names have achieved the legendary status of Paul McCartney. As one of the founding members of the Beatles, his impact on popular culture is undeniable. However, a peculiar conspiracy theory has surrounded him for decades, one that raises eyebrows and ignites debates among fans. The theory that Paul McCartney died in the 1960s and was replaced by a look-alike. The origins of this theory can be traced back to 1967. Some fans began to speculate that the ever-popular McCartney had died in a tragic accident, and instead of allowing the public to mourn, the surviving members of the Beatles decided to replace him with a doppelganger. This idea gained traction through a blend of misinterpreted song lyrics, supposed hidden messages in album artwork, and coincidences that fans eagerly connected into a compelling narrative. One notable aspect of the theory revolves around the Beatles' 1967 album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Enthusiasts of the conspiracy pointed to the album cover, which features Paul standing out with his bare feet, a symbol that some believe represents death. Proponents of the theory also highlighted the other figures surrounding him, claiming they were added to symbolize a funeral. Additionally, the title itself has been dissected, where some fans have suggested that Sgt. Pepper could imply Sgt. Pepper, hinting at some sort of undercover operation. The story was further embellished by claims that clues could be found in Beatles songs. For instance, listeners claimed that if one played the song Revolution 9 Inches Backward, they could hear a voice saying, "Turn me on, dead man." Similarly, in I'm So Tired, some fans claimed that Paul speaks the words, "Paul is dead, man," in a garbled manner. As the narrative spread, believers felt it was compelling enough to dive deeper into the lyrics, seeking out additional insights and interpretations that would support their emerging theories. The clues began to snowball, leading to a frenzy of speculation among the public. A myriad of theories attached themselves to the supposed death of McCartney. Supporters argued that if he had indeed died, the surviving members of the Beatles orchestrated a great cover-up. They proposed that Paul's replacement, a man who looked remarkably similar and had a gift for music, would be the perfect stand-in to preserve the band's success and legacy. Moreover, other theories posited that Paul's various public personas from his post-Beatles career contained inconsistencies, suggesting he was not who he used to be. For instance, subtle changes in his voice or differences in his physical appearance were highlighted by conspiracy theorists as signs of a different person. They even pointed to more personal aspects, like changes in Paul's style or demeanor, arguing they indicated the transformation of a man who had been replaced. Interestingly, this theory was not merely a fringe idea. It gained enough cultural traction that it began to appear in various forms of media. In the 1970s, Newspaper articles, radio shows, and even television segments discussed the Paul is dead phenomenon. This legitimacy gave the conspiracy a wider audience, encouraging discussions and drawing in new followers. Over time, numerous books have been penned about it, and the topic has been revisited as a fascinating case study on how conspiracy theories can gain popularity and morph over time. Many people argue that the different hoaxes surrounding McCartney's supposed absence show how legend can sometimes outweigh reality. They wonder how a beloved figure can be transformed into a subject of mystery and intrigue. The idea that a band as iconic as the Beatles would go to such lengths to cover up the death of a member adds an element of shock to the narrative, captivating many and keeping the theory alive even after decades. However, skeptics often cite the sheer impracticality of maintaining such a grand ruse. They claim that the effort required to replicate Paul's talent and charisma would be nearly impossible to achieve. Moreover, the logistics involved in keeping such a secret from the public might seem overwhelming to some. Others argue that it's far likelier that fans, in their deep admiration for McCartney and the Beatles, unconsciously construct theories that match their desire for mystery and drama in everyday life. The ongoing intrigue of the theory showcases how cultural phenomena can be intertwined with personal stories and belief systems. It raises questions about identity, loss, and the legacy of artistry, elements that resonate deeply within the human experience. While Paul McCartney continues to perform, evolve as a musician, and engage with fans around the world, the tale of Paul is dead lingers as a testament to the world of myths and narratives that surround our most cherished icons. So, as we reflect on this curious conspiracy, it becomes clear that the fascination with Paul McCartney's supposed demise is not solely about the truth of his existence. Instead, it emphasizes our tendency to weave stories and find patterns in the noise of life, crafting a tapestry that both entertains and mystifies. Whether as a legend, a symbol, or a cultural artifact, these narratives offer insight into our collective psyche and illustrate how easily reality can be transformed through the lens of storytelling. In the realm of covert operations, few topics captured the imagination quite like the CIA's MKUltra program. Initiated in the early 1950s and shrouded in secrecy for decades, MKUltra sought to explore the uncharted territories of the human mind. At its core, this program, driven by a mix of curiosity, fear, and futuristic dreams, aimed to develop techniques for mind control. The backdrop of MKUltra is rooted in the post-World War II era, during which intelligence agencies were grappling with the psychological tactics employed by adversaries. The Cold War mindset fostered an intense race, not only for military supremacy, but also for psychological advantage. The CIA was particularly concerned about the potential for brainwashing, highlighted dramatically by events such as the Korean War, where some American POWs were reportedly indoctrinated by their captors. Inspired by these concerns, the agency embarked on a quest to uncover methods that could either protect American citizens from mind control or, alternatively, implement mind control techniques themselves. The program encompassed an array of controversial methods. One of the most infamous components was the use of LSD, a powerful hallucinogenic drug. The CIA believed that this substance could be key in breaking down the barriers of personal consciousness, ultimately making individuals more susceptible to manipulation. There were experiments conducted in safe houses and even on unsuspecting citizens. Imagine a stranger slipping a substance into your drink, not for harm, but in the hope of understanding and controlling the complex workings of the human mind. Beyond drugs, MKUltra explored other methods of psychological manipulation. Techniques included sensory deprivation, hypnosis, and even the examination of more esoteric practices like guided imagery and yoga. Some experiments aimed to determine whether an individual could be conditioned to perform certain tasks or to accept specific narratives as truth. The goal was to unlock the secrets of the subconscious, revealing ways that thoughts could be implanted, memories erased, or behaviors altered. One less talked about aspect of MKUltra is the use of monarch programming, a theory that suggests that the CIA aimed to create programmed individuals or super spies. This concept has permeated popular culture, finding expressions in films and books, where characters exhibit split personalities or extraordinary skills due to psychological conditioning. While there's a blurry line between fact and fiction, the fear of such manipulation remains a potent theme in discussions about human autonomy and freedom. Some experiments had tragic consequences. Many individuals who were subjected to these procedures reported lasting psychological impacts, raising ethical questions about consent and the extent to which the agency was willing to push boundaries in the name of national security. With so many lives affected by MKUltra, an eerie reality emerges. The quest for knowledge and control often strayed into deeply unsettling territory. In the mid-1970s, public outcry over unethical experiments carried out by the CIA, including MKUltra, led to congressional investigations. These investigations painted a grim picture of how far the agency had strayed from its mission. As documents began to be declassified, the shocking details of MKUltra emerged, revealing a world where the intersection of science and dark intent collided. The fallout generated voices advocating for ethical standards in research, emphasizing the importance of informed consent. Though MKUltra was officially discontinued, the exploration of mind control techniques did not cease. The legacy of these experiments persists today, often echoing in discussions around technology, surveillance, and personal privacy. As we navigate the digital age, where algorithms and data predict human behavior, questions arise about how our thoughts and actions are influenced, nudged by powerful external forces. In a sense, we find ourselves in a new landscape, where the age-old pursuit of understanding the mind continues under different guises. The fascination with MKUltra has also given rise to numerous conspiracy theories, with some suggesting that the program's influence permeated various levels of society and culture, creating a sort of mind control fever dream. Films, literature, and even music reflect these ideas, suggesting a world where the lines between reality, government experiments, and the limits of human perception blur. As we explore the echoes of MKUltra, we are reminded of our ongoing search for understanding. The mind is an intricate tapestry, woven with threads of memory, emotion, and instinct. The quest to manipulate or comprehend this complex structure reflects our deepest desires and fears. The vivid stories stemming from MKUltra encourage reflection on the nature of control, the ethics of experimentation, and the eternal dance between knowledge and power. In contemplating the legacy of MKUltra, we engage with essential questions about the human experience. What does it mean to truly know oneself? How far can one go in pursuit of mastery over the mind? And in our quest for understanding, where do we draw the line between exploration and exploitation? These inquiries remain vital as we ponder the implications of human psychology in an ever-evolving world, evoking a sense of wonder tinged with caution regarding what lies within our minds and the forces that seek to influence them. The Georgia Guidestones, often shrouded in mystery and intrigue, are an enigmatic monument located in Elbert County, Georgia. Erected in 1980, these massive granite stones stand towering at about 19 feet and are sometimes referred to as the American Stonehenge. They were commissioned by a person using the pseudonym R.C. Christian, whose true identity remains a secret, adding to the allure surrounding this monument. The Guidestones feature 10 guidelines inscribed across 4 large stone slabs, and they are written in 8 modern languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. Each language conveys the same essential messages, which focus on themes of humanity, nature, and civilization. For instance, one of the inscriptions advocates for a world population not exceeding 500 million, a notion that has led to numerous conspiracy theories and debates over its interpretation and purpose. These inscriptions spark compelling conversations about their meaning. Some claim that they promote a utopian vision for humanity, emphasizing harmony with nature and the importance of maintaining a sustainable population. Others, however, fear the implications of such directives, interpreting them as a call for radical population control. The contradictions in these interpretations paint a picture of existential questions facing society today. Are these messages a guide for peace, or do they hold darker meanings? The design of the Guidestones also plays a significant role in their enigmatic nature. They are aligned with celestial bodies, featuring an opening that allows sunlight to align with certain stones during specific times of the year. This aspect of their construction suggests a level of sophistication and purposefulness, further attracting those who delve into astrology and ancient knowledge. It raises questions about how such an ambitious project was financed and executed without widespread knowledge of its development. In addition to the inscriptions, the Guidestones have become a focal point for those who explore themes of conspiracy. Various groups have attached their beliefs to the monument, believing it to be a symbol of elite control or a blueprint for world domination. Many conspiracy theorists argue that these guidelines outline a plan for an authoritarian civilization that would dictate the future of humanity. Discussions often arise around the ethics of population control and the balance between nature and human progress. Local residents and visitors often have mixed feelings about the Guidestones. For some, they represent a fascinating mystery, invoking curiosity and wonder as they ponder their origin and messages. Others see them as alarming depictions of dystopian futures, stoking fears about undue influence over humanity. This dichotomy fuels many discussions around the stones, with some defending their presence as a means of provoking thought and dialogue, while others call for their removal or destruction. Over the years, the Georgia Guidestones have inspired various artistic interpretations and cultural references, illustrating their influence across different domains. They have appeared in literature, music, and film, serving as symbols of mystery and a catalyst for discussions about our societal values. Their complex narrative mirrors broader themes in contemporary culture, where issues of sustainability, ethics, and governance become increasingly pertinent. The stones continue to serve as a canvas for varying ideologies and perspectives, grounding them in modern discourse. Despite their significance, the future of the Guidestones remains uncertain. Acts of vandalism and public sentiment have threatened their existence, and debates over their meaning continue to shape the monument's legacy. Each time the stones are altered or damaged, such events often lead to renewed public interest and speculation, fostering discussions around their interpreted messages. The stones act as a barometer for societal concerns. As new generations encounter the Guidestones, they bring new interpretations and insights that reflect shifting cultural attitudes. As the Guidestones stand resiliently in the Georgian landscape, they pose questions that leave us pondering. What does it mean to live harmoniously with our environment? How should we approach global challenges surrounding population growth and sustainability? The answers may not be clear-cut, but the dialogue they inspire is undeniably significant. Engaging with the Georgia Guidestones offers an opportunity to reflect on our place in the world and the values we hold dear. The natural beauty surrounding them serves as a tranquil backdrop, inviting visitors to consider not just the stones themselves, but the ideals they represent. Whether viewed as a beacon of hope or a cautionary symbol, the Guidestones challenge us to engage deeply with the pressing issues of our times while continuously seeking our path forward in a rapidly evolving world. As the sun sets behind the towering stones, the mysteries they encompass draw us in, beckoning us to continue unraveling the threads of human history that bind us all. Each visit brings new insights, and each story shared adds another layer to the monument's complex legacy. The Georgia Guidestones stand not only as a physical structure, but as a reflection of our collective consciousness, sparking endless curiosity about the human experience and the future we will create together. Throughout history, the concept of secret societies has piqued the interest of many, sparking numerous theories regarding their influence and power. These societies, often shrouded in mystery, are believed to be composed of members who share specific goals, some of which are purportedly sinister. The allure of these theories lies in the notion that a small group of individuals holds significant sway over political, economic, and social structures on a global scale. One of the most talked about secret societies is the Illuminati. Founded in the late 18th century in Bavaria, the Illuminati initially aimed to promote Enlightenment ideals such as reason and equality. However, as the years passed, it became the centerpiece of numerous conspiracy theories, suggesting that it manipulates global events behind the scenes. Many claim that influential figures in entertainment, politics, and business are members of this elusive group, suggesting that they use their power to orchestrate world affairs to fit a predetermined agenda. For example, some theories claim that major political leaders, celebrities, and even some of the world's wealthiest individuals are tied to the Illuminati, pushing a narrative that promotes globalism and control over the masses. Another well-known secret society is the Freemasons. With roots dating back to the late 16th century, the Freemasons have long been associated with various conspiracy theories. Some narratives propose that members engage in clandestine rituals meant to promote a shared ideology of brotherhood and power. Theories abound regarding their influence over major historical events, with claims that they have helped shape the foundations of modern governance and society. Interestingly, some suggest that the Freemasons have infiltrated various organizations and institutions, leading to the belief that they may be guiding the world's trajectory according to their interests. The symbolism often associated with Freemasonry, like the all-seeing eye and the compass, adds to the intrigue and fuels further speculation about their hidden motives. Another group that garners attention in the realm of secret societies is the Bilderberg Group. This annual conference brings together elite figures from various fields, including politics, finance, and media. Critics argue that the very nature of their closed-door meetings suggests an intent to conspire against the interests of the general public. Some theorists posit that the group uses these gatherings to craft economic policies, geopolitical strategies, and societal norms that could have far-reaching effects. The air of exclusivity around their discussions stirs conjecture about what decisions are being made and how they impact global affairs. Moving on, we enter the realm of the Skull and Bones Society. Established in the early 19th century at Yale University, this society is known for its secretive nature and its list of notable alumni, including several U.S. presidents and influential political figures. Theories surrounding Skull and Bones often revolve around their initiation rituals and the impact their members wield in shaping policy decisions once they enter public office. Detractors argue that this close-knit fraternity allows for the perpetuation of power, leading to accusations that they steer national and international events to further their agenda. Their association with wealth and privilege only deepens the mystery and intrigue surrounding their influence. Moreover, the notion of global governance through secretive alliances is prevalent, with groups like the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission often labeled as quiet puppeteers behind the curtain of international politics. These organizations, made up of influential leaders, are believed by some to promote specific agendas that align with global corporate interests. The very discussions held in these influential circles give rise to speculation about plans designed to transcend national boundaries, all while operating in the shadows of public scrutiny. What is equally compelling is the connection between these secret societies and historical events. From wars to significant political shifts, proponents of these theories argue that many pivotal moments in history align with the interests of these organizations. The assassination of prominent leaders, economic crashes, and social upheavals often become fodder for the belief that they have been orchestrated or manipulated to serve broader ambitions. The narrative suggests a stark contrast between the decisions made by a select few and the lives of the many, fostering a sense of distrust and curiosity among those who ponder the true nature of power. However, amidst all the speculation, it is essential to approach these theories with a healthy degree of skepticism. The allure of secret societies often stems from the human desire to explain complex phenomena in a simplified manner, attributing grand events to clandestine actions rather than acknowledging the multifaceted realities of politics and society. Conspiracy theories can easily warp perceptions, leading individuals to view the world through a lens of mistrust and suspicion. While the idea of secret societies controlling global affairs is undeniably captivating, it is vital to sift through these theories critically. The narratives, whether based in truth or embellished by time and paranoia, offer a glimpse into the collective psyche's fascination with power, secrecy, and the dynamics that shape our world. Ultimately, exploring these theories invites us not only to consider the extent of influence wielded by a select few, but also encourages a deeper investigation into how power operates in our everyday lives, revealing the complexities underlying human interaction, governance, and society. The life and legacy of Tupac Shakur have become a central part of hip-hop culture, literature, and even conspiracy theories. One of the most intriguing theories surrounding this iconic figure is the idea that he faked his own death. This concept has garnered attention and sparked discussions since the day that news of his passing broke. Many people are captivated by the possibility that Tupac is still alive, and a multitude of reasons are suggested to support this claim. Tupac Shakur, known for his poetic lyrics and impactful messages, was tragically shot in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas on September 7, 1996, and succumbed to his injuries 6 days later. His death shocked the music world, as he was not just a rapper, but also a cultural icon, a voice for the voiceless, and a complex figure who spoke about the struggles of contemporary society. However, even after his untimely passing, speculation has persisted that he may have orchestrated a grand escape. Proponents of the alive theory often point to Tupac's interest in literature and film, emphasizing his affection for storytelling. Some fans speculate that his departure from the public eye was a way to write a new chapter in his life, akin to a character in a movie who seeks freedom from a dangerous world. They highlight Tupac's artistic mind and suggest he may have concocted a plan that mirrored the plot of one of his favorite films. Another key element of the alive theory involves the circumstances surrounding his death. Many believe that the Las Vegas incident was shrouded in mystery and controversy. For instance, questions arise about the actions of the police and whether the investigation was truly thorough. Some fans have asserted that Tupac's high-profile feuds with various figures in the music industry could have posed a real threat to his safety, leading him to orchestrate a set of events that could effectively camouflage his whereabouts. The fascination with the alive theory is fueled by a series of cryptic statements and images that Tupac left behind prior to his supposed death. Some fans argue that Tupac hinted at his desire to escape the spotlight, conveying messages through interviews and his lyrics. They recall lines from his songs where he expresses feelings of entrapment or fatigue in his life, suggesting he was contemplating a drastic change long before the tragic events of 1996. There are also claims of supposed sightings of Tupac in various locations around the world. Over the years, people have reported seeing him in Cuba, Brazil, and even in the United States. Some of these alleged sightings are supported by photos that have circulated online, with many believing they show an older version of the rapper. Each reported sighting energizes the fan base, leading them to speculate about whether Tupac truly slipped away to live a secluded life. Additionally, Tupac's relationship with the Nation of Islam and his association with prominent figures in the community have contributed to theories about his supposed escape. Supporters suggest that he may have found refuge or protection within those circles, aligning himself with beliefs that resonate with his ideals, while allowing him to safely navigate the complexities that surrounded his public persona. The alive theory has been fueled by various forms of media, including documentaries, podcasts, and books that delve into Tupac's life and the circumstances of his death. These platforms have served to keep his spirit alive while introducing new generations to the mystique surrounding his legacy. Such media often analyze the symbols found in Tupac's artwork, sometimes pointing to obscure clues or hidden messages that seem to suggest he is still among us. The question of whether Tupac faked his death is a powerful conversation piece, sparking debates about celebrity culture, fame, and the pressures that come with success. Many wonder about the implications of such an escape and what it would mean for a figure like Tupac, who was profoundly affected by the experiences that shaped his outlook on life. Would he choose to live in anonymity? Or would he strive to continue his work, using his platform to inspire and educate? The need for understanding who Tupac Shakur was and what he represented can lead to deep emotional connections among his fans. The alive theory has become somewhat of a metaphor for resilience, escape, and perhaps even the search for identity in a world that can be harsh and unforgiving. As time passes, the dialogue surrounding his legacy remains vibrant, reflecting the undying impact he has made through his music and activism. In conclusion, the theories surrounding the possibility of Tupac faking his death tap into our fascination with the enigmatic. They invite us to reflect on broader themes of mortality, legacy, and the quest for truth. Whether one believes in the alive theory or not, there is no denying that Tupac's artistry continues to resonate with listeners, igniting discussions that keep his spirit alive in the minds of fans and sparking curiosity about the lasting influence of this incredible artist. The narrative of Tupac Shakur goes on, a testament to the power of storytelling and the enduring nature of his contributions to music and culture. In today's digital age, the spread of information happens at an unprecedented speed. While this has empowered the public with access to various viewpoints and knowledge, it also comes with significant challenges, particularly concerning the accuracy of that information. One of the most pressing issues is the phenomenon of fake news and its manipulation. Fake news refers to fabricated information that is intentionally misleading, and it has sophisticated ways of influencing public opinion and political landscapes. Imagine scrolling through your social media feed, only to come across a headline that catches your eye. It claims that a well-known figure has made a shocking statement, or that a sweeping law has been passed. You pause. It seems so ridiculous that it might just be true. Before you know it, you're sharing the story, perhaps adding your own commentary to emphasize its absurdity. This scenario is a common pathway through which fake news spreads. It relies on emotional triggers, whether it's outrage, shock, or fear, to motivate individuals to share content without verifying its accuracy. The manipulation of information can take various forms, ranging from exaggerating existing facts to creating entirely fictitious narratives. For example, during an election period, you might encounter social media posts that claim a candidate supports radical policies. These posts may distort statements made in a completely different context, twisting them to incite fear and opposition. This manipulation serves specific agendas by dividing public sentiment and turning communities against one another, fostering mistrust in legitimate sources of information. Another method of manipulation involves using images and videos to reinforce false claims. A viral video may show a protest happening in one part of the world, edited to fit a headline about political unrest elsewhere. Without context, viewers are misled into believing an exaggerated or entirely false narrative. Visual content can be particularly powerful and often connects with audiences on a more profound emotional level, making them more susceptible to manipulation. This is especially critical, as images can evoke strong feelings and shape perceptions in ways that words often cannot. Additionally, the role of algorithms in social media plays a significant part in the spread of fake news. These algorithms are designed to maximize user engagement, meaning they often amplify content that provokes strong reactions. Unfortunately, sensational and controversial stories tend to garner more engagement than balanced reporting or nuanced discussions, leading to the proliferation of misleading information. This creates an environment where users are frequently exposed to distorted realities, pushing them further into echo chambers that reinforce their existing beliefs. Furthermore, misinformation can have far-reaching consequences beyond individual opinion. In instances where public health is at stake, such as during a pandemic, false information can lead to harmful behaviors. Claims about miracle cures or ineffective preventative measures can spread rapidly, causing individuals to ignore sound medical advice. The manipulation of facts in the context of health not only places individuals at risk, but can also impact broader community well-being, as collective actions are swayed by erroneous beliefs. Understanding the sources of fake news is vital in combating its spread. Often, misinformation originates from disreputable sources, created either for political gain or to generate revenue through clicks and shares. By recognizing these sources, individuals can become more discerning consumers of information. Fact-checking websites and tools can help verify claims and provide context. Checking the credibility of the outlet, assessing the author's background, and cross-referencing information with reliable sources can create a more informed public. One striking example of the impact of fake news manipulation was during the 2016 United States presidential election. Fake news articles circulating online had a measurable effect on voter behavior, highlighting how easily public perception can be shaped by misleading information. Such events prompt questions about the responsibilities of social media platforms. Striking a balance between free expression and preventing the spread of harmful misinformation is an ongoing challenge for these platforms. Moreover, education plays a crucial role in mitigating the effects of fake news. Media literacy programs aimed at teaching individuals how to discern credible information from falsehoods can empower communities. Understanding the fundamentals of critical thinking, recognizing bias, and interrogating the sources of information can create a more resilient public that is less susceptible to manipulation. In conclusion, fake news manipulation presents a multifaceted challenge in the realm of public opinion and politics. By understanding its mechanisms and employing strategies to identify and combat false information, individuals can protect themselves from being swayed by misleading narratives. The responsibility lies not only with individuals, but also with societies, to foster an informed citizenry that can critically engage with the information landscape. As the battle against misinformation continues, developing a culture of scrutiny and critical analysis will be an essential part of navigating the complexities of communication in our modern world. Denver International Airport, often referred to as DIA, has intrigued travelers and conspiracy theorists alike since it opened in 1995. With its massive size and peculiar designs, the airport has become the center of numerous theories that suggest it is not just an ordinary facility for air travel. Many believe that it hides secrets beneath its surface, making it a subject of fascination. One of the most prominent conspiracy theories revolves around the airport's striking artwork and murals. As soon as travelers enter, they are greeted by vibrant paintings that depict a variety of themes, some interpreted as dystopian, while others suggest a more hopeful message. Notably, a mural titled "In Peace and Harmony with Nature" features a horse with glowing red eyes alongside images of war and destruction, which has led many to draw ominous conclusions. Some theorists propose that these artistic choices serve as a form of communication from secret societies or even extraterrestrial beings, hinting at deeper, more sinister agendas. The airport's design and layout have also drawn attention. One theory suggests that the runway patterns resemble a swastika from above, which has fueled speculations regarding Nazi connections. This theory is further amplified by the presence of a large blue horse statue, nicknamed Blucifer, which stands ominously outside the airport. The horse, created by artist Luis Jimenez, gained notoriety after a piece of it fell on Jimenez, ultimately leading to his tragic death. Some believe this cursed statue represents a dark omen linked to the airport's hidden purposes. Another noteworthy aspect of Denver International Airport is its enormous underground tunnels. It is said that the airport has around 110 miles of underground tunnels, some speculated to serve as a transportation network for baggage, while others are assumed to harbor secret bunkers for the elite in the event of an apocalyptic scenario. These tunnels are rumored to connect to various locations throughout the city of Denver, and some theorists suggest they could even lead to hidden facilities operated by government agencies. Furthermore, there are rumors that the airport is home to the headquarters of the New World Order, a group that is often depicted as aiming to control global governance. Conspiracy theorists point to the airport's time capsule, which was buried beneath a plaque inscribed with symbolic references to various secretive organizations. Some believe that this time capsule, intended to be opened in 2094, could reveal the truth about the conspiracies surrounding the airport. The airport's construction was controversial, costing taxpayers a staggering amount of money, over $8 billion, making it the most expensive airport in the United States. Many speculate that the funds funneled into the project may have been used for purposes beyond just air travel, with theories suggesting that the money could have gone toward the construction of secret facilities hidden from the public's eye. Denver International Airport has also positioned itself as a hub for the aviation community, with its environmentally conscious efforts and state-of-the-art facilities. However, even these initiatives are not without their skepticism. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the airport's green initiatives are merely a facade, hiding true intentions that remain obscured from the public. The sustainable features, they argue, could be part of an elaborate diversion from the unsettling truths hidden beneath the airport's impressive facade. In addition, the airport's location is another focal point for conspiracy theories. Some believe that its elevation and geographic position make it a strategic site for undisclosed operations, potentially related to military endeavors or surveillance. The airport is often regarded as a potential government bunker where dignitaries could escape in times of crisis, further fueling speculation about what truly lies beneath it. Whispers of secret meetings and gatherings held inside DIA have added to the mythology surrounding the airport. Some suggest that influential leaders meet there to discuss global policies and clandestine agendas while adopting the guise of routine travel. This blend of mundane airport bustle with potential high-level intrigue creates a captivating narrative for those drawn to conspiracy theories. Additionally, DIA has gained a reputation for its peculiar architectural features. The peaked roof, designed to resemble snow-capped mountains, has led some to theorize that it may also symbolize more ominous motifs, serving as a distraction from what is really happening underneath. The artistic choices employed in the design have sparked imaginations, leading many to speculate that they deliberately point toward hidden meanings. In popular culture, the lore surrounding Denver International Airport has inspired books, documentaries, and even podcasts. Each medium adds layers to the narrative, turning the airport into a modern folklore phenomenon. Individuals drawn to the mysteries of DIA often embark on a quest to untangle the threads of truth and fiction, providing varying interpretations based on their perspectives. Whether intrigued by the artwork or captivated by the rumors of underground tunnels, everyone appears to find their own reason to explore these mysteries. In conclusion, Denver International Airport stands as a unique blend of modern travel and an enigma wrapped in conspiracy theories. Its iconic design, dubious history, and an array of symbols invite curious minds to delve deeper into what it may represent beyond conventional air travel. These elements intertwine to create a narrative that continues to captivate the imagination of many, keeping the allure of DIA alive as a destination of both travel and mystery. Whether seeking the truth or simply indulging in speculation, the stories surrounding this airport fuel conversation and curiosity, ensuring that it will remain a subject of fascination for years to come. Crop circles have fascinated humanity for decades, with their mesmerizing designs appearing overnight in fields across the globe. These intricate patterns, ranging from simple circles to complex geometric shapes, spark curiosity and wonder about their origins. As we delve into the phenomenon of crop circles, we uncover a tapestry of theories and beliefs, with many attributing these creations to extraterrestrial beings. The first recorded crop circle appeared in the late 1970s England, with farmers discovering large, flattened circles in their crops. As the phenomenon gained traction, the designs became increasingly elaborate, captivating the attention of the public and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Some formations feature perfectly symmetrical shapes, while others appear as elaborate motifs containing multiple interconnected circles and intricate patterns. One of the most compelling aspects of crop circles is the sheer scale of their creation. These formations can be as large as several hundred feet in diameter, with some taking up an entire field. The precision and detail evident in these patterns lead many to believe they are not the work of mere human hoaxers, but rather a message or artwork from beyond our world. Evidence of possible extraterrestrial involvement is a staple in crop circle discussions. Advocates of this theory often point to the complexity of some designs and the lack of a clear explanation for their origin. Suggestively, certain crop circles appear abruptly, without any signs of human interference. The theory suggests that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations could be using these formations as a means of communication, leaving behind patterns as a way to pique our interest. Interestingly, some researchers propose that these formations contain mathematical properties, such as the Fibonacci sequence or sacred geometry, further hinting at an intelligent source. The Fibonacci sequence, for instance, is a series where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, creating a pattern often found in nature. The appearance of similar mathematical principles in crop circles raises questions about the possibility of a universal language transcending human understanding. Furthermore, various testimonies from individuals who have encountered crop circles add to the intrigue. Witnesses sometimes describe unusual sensations, such as an overwhelming feeling of peace or a sense of being closely observed. Some even claim to have seen lights or other phenomena in the sky shortly before the formations appeared. These experiences fuel speculation about what might be at play, while deepening the enigma surrounding these stunning patterns etched into the land. The agricultural aspect of crop circles also plays a role in this discussion. Many farmers have reported that the plants within crop circles appear healthier and exhibit differences in growth compared to surrounding crops. Some studies have suggested that the irrigation and yield of crops could be influenced by the circle formations. This phenomenon has led to inquiries about how these shapes may relate to the Earth and its energies, further emphasizing a link between nature and any external forces that may be involved. As public interest in crop circles rose, so did the skepticism surrounding them. Some researchers assert that the majority of crop circles are human-made, often crafted by skilled artists using basic tools such as wooden planks and ropes. This has spurred elaborate hoaxes where individuals create new formations as a form of artistic expression or social commentary. Nevertheless, while many can be explained as pranks, the persistence of inexplicable crop circles continues to give rise to theories regarding their origins. Documentarians and enthusiasts have chronicled numerous instances of crop circles, showcasing their beauty and ambiguity. A number of notable locations in England, particularly in Wiltshire, have become hubs for crop circle activity, drawing visitors and believers eager to witness the phenomenon firsthand. Attractions such as Stonehenge, nearby ancient sites, and the rolling countryside of England provide an enchanting backdrop for those venturing out to explore mystery and myth wrapped in nature. Crop circles can also serve as a mirror to our society, reflecting our collective hopes, fears, and desires for connection with something greater than ourselves. In a world often marked by division, these extraordinary patterns offer a visual representation of unity, collaboration, and wonder. They urge us to contemplate our place in the universe and provoke discussions about life beyond our planet. While science seeks logical explanations for the patterns, the very nature of crop circles invites a sense of awe and imagination. They have a unique way of captivating our attention, fulfilling both our desire for mystery and our yearning for wonder. As we continue to explore the intricate relationship between humanity and the unknown, crop circles stand as a testament to the enduring power of curiosity. In the end, whether one views them as extraterrestrial messages or a product of human creativity, Crop circles provide a glimpse into the mystical aspects of life that defy easy categorization. They challenge us to ponder the possibilities of existence beyond our understanding, while simultaneously igniting our sense of adventure, spirit of exploration, and intrinsic longing for connection. Whatever conclusions can be drawn from the crop circle phenomenon, one thing remains clear. These remarkable formations continue to inspire intrigue and imagination, urging us to look a little closer at the extraordinary world around us. On August 31, 1997, the world was shaken by the tragic news of the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, in a car crash in Paris. The incident, which claimed the lives of Diana, her companion Dodi Fayed, and the driver Henri Paul, was met with immediate shock, grief, and a flood of media coverage. But as the initial reactions gave way to deeper investigations, a complex web of controversies and conspiracy theories began to emerge, casting a shadow over what many believed to be a straightforward car accident. The circumstances surrounding the crash became the subject of intense scrutiny. Diana and Dodi had been pursued by paparazzi in the moments leading up to the accident, leading some to argue that relentless media attention contributed to the tragedy. Questions arose about the actions of the paparazzi, with critics emphasizing the ethical implications of chasing celebrities and the dangers it posed. While the photographers themselves insisted that they were merely doing their job, many felt that the incident illustrated a dark side of celebrity culture. In addition to the role of the paparazzi, the capabilities of the driver Henri Paul were also called into question. An investigation revealed that Paul had alcohol in his system at the time of the crash, which raised doubts about his ability to operate the vehicle safely. Some speculated that the crash may have been preventable had the driver not been impaired. However, supporters of Diana argued that Paul was a skilled driver and questioned whether the investigation neglected crucial details that could have altered the narrative. As the investigation unfolded, conspiracy theories began to flourish, captivating the public's imagination. One of the most persistent theories suggested that the crash was not an accident at all, but rather a result of a plot orchestrated by elements of the British establishment. Proponents of this theory speculated that Diana's increasing popularity and her plans to distance herself from the royal family posed a threat to certain powers, and thus they sought to eliminate her. This theory resonated with those who had long been critical of the monarchy and perceived it as an institution resistant to change. Another intriguing angle of the conspiracy theories revolved around the notion of involvement from the British intelligence services. Some allege that to maintain the royal family's image, a drastic measure was taken. Supporters of this theory often pointed to the perceived coincidences surrounding the crash, claiming that Diana's death was strategically planned to diminish the influence of her humanitarian efforts and her perceived challenge to royal norms. Adding further layers of complexity, the role of the British royal family has often been scrutinized in light of Diana's death. Many commentators suggested that her life was tumultuous due to her relationship with the royal family, which included publicized struggles with her identity and personal challenges. Thus, some believed that her passing had deeper implications for the royal family, leading to speculation that they might have been involved in orchestrating events leading up to the crash, directly or indirectly. Amidst the conspiracy theorists, an array of formal investigations sought to clarify what actually happened that night. The most notable was the lengthy Operation Paget inquiry conducted by the Metropolitan Police, which aimed to debunk the myriad conspiracy theories. The inquiry ultimately concluded that the crash was the result of reckless driving by Henri Paul and the pursuing paparazzi, and that there was no evidence to suggest any foul play. Despite these findings, skepticism persisted, fueled by distrust in official reports and a desire for deeper truths. In the years since that fateful night, however, the legacy of Princess Diana remains strong, enduring through charitable endeavors and continued public fascination. Many who mourned her have carried forward her passion for humanitarian work, which included efforts related to landmines and HIV/AIDS awareness, allowing her impact to transcend her life. The ongoing debate surrounding her death illustrates the common human desire to seek answers, particularly when confronted with a tragedy as profound as that of Diana's. The combination of fame, mystery, and loss has only fueled public interest, ensuring that discussions about the events of that night remain alive in cultural narratives. In summary, the tragic death of Diana, Princess of Wales, continues to inspire conversations that reach far beyond the immediate details of the car crash. The intricate layers of media scrutiny, personal intrigue, and societal implications all play a part in keeping her memory alive. The ongoing exploration of controversies and conspiracy theories surrounding her death serves as a reminder of the complexities of public life, celebrity culture, and the ways in which grief can transform into countless narratives. Each theory, while at times bordering on the outrageous, reflects a broader desire for connection to a figure who personified compassion, resilience, and humanity. The Bermuda Triangle is a region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where numerous vehicles, including ships and planes, are said to have vanished under mysterious circumstances. This area, bound by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has captured the imagination of many with its strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena. The folklore surrounding the Bermuda Triangle is rich and varied, filled with tales that range from the plausible to the outright fantastical. One of the most popular theories that have captured public attention is the idea of magnetic anomalies. Some researchers suggest that the Bermuda Triangle is home to areas where magnetic compass readings can be thrown off, leading navigators to miscalculate their routes. This can certainly create confusion for pilots and ship captains, especially in a time when reliance on compass bearings was paramount. Imagine a pilot confidently steering toward the supposed safety of land, only to find that their compass is leading them astray, directing them deeper into the enigmatic waters. Another intriguing theory delves into the possibility of natural phenomena. The area is known for sudden, violent storms that can develop quickly, leaving little time for vessels and aircraft to react. These storms can generate powerful winds and waves, creating conditions that are treacherous for just about any size boat or aircraft. Picture a calm day on the ocean suddenly turning into chaos, with towering waves crashing down on a ship, causing it to struggle against the elements. This interpretation offers a more grounded explanation for some of the disappearances that have occurred. Some theories also focus on the underwater geology of the Bermuda Triangle. There are areas where gas hydrates or frozen gas formations are known to exist beneath the ocean floor. In the event of a landslide or other geological activity, these gas hydrates can be released, forming bubbles that reduce the water's density. This can lead to a vessel losing buoyancy and sinking rapidly. Imagine a ship gliding peacefully over the water, unaware that below, a geological shift may soon create the conditions for tragedy as it unexpectedly plunges beneath the waves. The concept of time warps and parallel universes has also been proposed, although it tends to tread into the realm of science fiction. Some enthusiasts like to theorize that the Bermuda Triangle acts as a portal to other dimensions or times, where vessels and aircraft can inexplicably vanish. These ideas are fascinating, considering our ever-evolving understanding of physics and the unknown aspects of time itself. Visualize a pilot flying along a routine flight path only to suddenly find themselves in an entirely different reality, where the familiar coordinates no longer exist. Cultural folklore has been influenced by the Bermuda Triangle saga as well. Many narratives have emerged, weaving supernatural elements into the fabric of this mystery, in ways that spark the imagination. Stories of ancient mariners encountering sea monsters or of lost cities hidden beneath the waves add an element of adventure and whimsy. Picture a sailor spinning a tale after a long voyage. A daunting experience turned into a thrilling narrative that captivates the audience, blending fact with wild imagination. In many cases, the disappearances attributed to the Bermuda Triangle have been traced to more practical explanations or simple human error. Navigational mistakes, mechanical failures, and miscommunications are often at the heart of these incidents. For instance, an aircraft might crash due to a malfunction, or a ship might run aground because of poor weather conditions or improper charts. These real-world possibilities remind us that for every tale of mystery, there are facts rooted in the complexity and unpredictability of the ocean. The Bermuda Triangle mythos finds its origins in the early 20th century. One critical moment came in 1945, when a group of 5 Avenger torpedo bombers, known as Flight 19, disappeared on a training flight. The search operation to locate them led to the loss of a rescue plane, further feeding the narrative that something strange was afoot. The media sensationalized these events, and soon the phrase Bermuda Triangle entered popular culture, giving rise to numerous books, documentaries, and movies exploring the legends and theories surrounding this area. As we ponder the mysteries of such an intriguing region, we explore the human fascination with the unknown and our desire to define the boundaries of our understanding. The Bermuda Triangle encapsulates a myriad of interpretations, each revealing something about the world we inhabit, our propensity for storytelling, the exploration of our fears, and the quest for answers in places shrouded in uncertainty. Whether one leans towards the scientific explanations or the more whimsical theories, the allure of the Bermuda Triangle continues to be a source of endless fascination. In conclusion, while the debates about the Bermuda Triangle may never reach a definitive resolution, the stories and theories continue to evolve. From magnetic anomalies to tales of otherworldly portals, each narrative sheds light on humanity's complex relationship with nature and mystery. It reminds us of the vast expanses of our oceans, the unpredictable forces at play, and the adventures that await those who dare to venture into the unknown. As we navigate through this remarkable tapestry of experiences, we embrace the wonderment of exploration and the stories yet to be told. In the shadows of conspiracy theories, one of the most fascinating and bizarre notions is the belief in lizard people, or reptilian humanoids. This idea claims that these extraterrestrial beings, resembling reptiles, have infiltrated human society, influencing our actions and decisions from behind the scenes. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, but a substantial following believes in the existence of these creatures. The concept of reptilian beings can be traced back through various cultures and mythologies. Ancient texts from civilizations such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, and even those of Mesoamerica often mention serpent-like gods and beings that interacted with humans. These ancient stories about gods or powerful beings resembling lizards indicate that the symbolism of reptiles carries significance across different eras and societies. Fast forward to contemporary times, and the lizard people have found a place in the digital age of conspiracy theories. This belief gained substantial traction in the late 20th century, particularly through the works of David Icke, a former professional football player turned conspiracy theorist. Icke proposed that many of the world's leaders and influential figures are actually reptilian aliens disguising themselves as humans. According to Icke, these beings require human emotions, particularly fear and chaos, to sustain their power and dominance over humanity. This idea calls to mind the notion that some people might exhibit traits or behaviors that seem almost inhuman or beyond normal comprehension. Imagine walking into a room filled with influential figures, politicians, celebrities, or corporate leaders. The theory posits that among them, there may be a hidden lizard creature, carefully maintaining a human facade. What would happen to our understanding of power and authority if this were true? The implications are staggering, suggesting that our perceptions of trust, leadership, and governance could be entirely misplaced. The belief in lizard people often aligns with fears about societal control and loss of agency. Some adherents argue that these beings are to blame for many of the world's issues, from economic instability to warfare. They see the subtle actions of world leaders as manipulations orchestrated by extraterrestrial influences. This perspective raises a compelling discussion about the nature of conspiracy theories and why they resonate with certain individuals. Exploring the allure of this belief further leads us to consider the evolving nature of society and technology. As the world becomes more interconnected, information spreads with unprecedented speed. This digital landscape fosters a culture where anyone can voice their thoughts and ideas, no matter how eccentric they may be. In this environment, the lizard people theory can serve as a focal point for individuals seeking to make sense of the complexities and uncertainties surrounding modern life. The contrast between the simple idea of controlling reptilian beings and the labyrinth of human affairs becomes a metaphor for feeling powerless in an increasingly complex world. Moreover, the concept of shape-shifting lizard beings adds a layer of intrigue. Advocates claim that they can change their form to blend into human society. This idea taps into deep-seated fears of deception and mistrust. In literature and film, shape-shifting is a common trope, representing themes of identity and authenticity. When we watch movies or read books featuring characters who can transform, it often serves as a metaphor for the fear of change or betrayal. Additionally, the idea of reptilian influence has sparked discussions about the misuse of power and corruption in both the public and private sectors. The yoke of disillusionment hangs heavily over those who feel that their leaders are out of touch or fail to represent their interests. The reptilian theory, in this sense, becomes not just a story about aliens, but a narrative that echoes the human experience of feeling disenfranchised and manipulated. Importantly, it's essential to recognize that while theories about lizard people can seem outlandish, they reflect deeper societal anxieties and frustrations. They remind us of the need to seek understanding and clarity in an increasingly complex world. Myths and legends have always served to explain the unexplainable, acting as mirrors reflecting societal fears, hopes, and frustrations back at us. In the realm of entertainment, the fascination with reptilian humanoids has permeated various aspects of pop culture. Television series, movies, and documentaries are rife with references to these mysterious beings, generating conversations that bridge the gap between fiction and possible reality. Audiences are often drawn to these stories, reflecting our intrinsic curiosity about the unknown and the unseen. Exploring this belief gives us insight into the human condition, the desire to attribute meaning and reason to the chaos of daily life. In a world often marked by extreme polarization and conflict, the notion of a hidden hand guiding our affairs may offer a strange sense of comfort for some. It provides a narrative that enables individuals to understand the complexities of their environment, even when the storyline is far-fetched or remains in the realm of fantasy. In conclusion, the belief in lizard people presents an intriguing paradox. It combines elements of mythology, cultural reflection, and societal critique, revealing much about how we navigate the unknowns of existence. Whether one subscribes to the idea of reptilian influence or not, the discussion surrounding it stimulates essential conversations about trust, authority, and the underlying motives that shape human dynamics. In the end, it serves as a reminder of our collective yearning for understanding and connection in a world that can often feel overwhelming and unpredictable. The Bilderberg Group, an assembly that takes place once a year, features a collection of influential individuals from various sectors, including politics, business, media, and academia. These meetings typically include an eclectic mix of high-profile guests, from power brokers to industry leaders, providing a unique platform for discussion about global affairs. Although the gatherings are shrouded in secrecy, they have attracted significant attention and speculation from both media and conspiracy theorists. Operating since 1954, the Bilderberg Group was initially conceived as a means to foster dialogue between Europe and North America during the Cold War. The founders recognized the need for a space where thought leaders could brainstorm strategies to address pressing global challenges. Over the years, however, the meetings have drawn criticism due to their lack of transparency and the elite nature of their discussions. The location of these meetings changes each year, often taking place in high-end hotels or resorts, and no official minutes or transcripts are released to the public. While attendees are free to discuss topics and share outcomes of the conversations, they are bound by a code of confidentiality. This secrecy has led to a multitude of theories regarding what actually transpires behind closed doors. Some critics allege that the Bilderberg Group serves as a shadow government, claiming that the elites convening there plot to influence world events without the accountability that comes with public scrutiny. They argue that important policy decisions are made in private, sidelining the voices and concerns of millions who are impacted by these choices. For instance, discussions on economic stability, international security, or climate change are pivotal in shaping national policies. Given the concentrations of power among attendees, the outcomes of these meetings, even if indirectly, could well steer major decisions at a national or global level. Some observers assert that agreements reached during these discussions can lead to significant policy shifts that affect the everyday lives of people worldwide. The representation in the Bilderberg Group is incredibly diverse, including politicians from various countries, corporate executives, influential journalists, and academic figures. A myriad of subjects has been reported to be on the agenda, ranging from technology advancements to global trade agreements. The cross-pollination of ideas between such a varied set of leaders can lead to innovative solutions and practices. Yet, this very diversity is what prompts allegations of conspiracy. Skeptics point to the cohesion among the group, suggesting that it may foster a culture of mutual interests that could overshadow the broader public good. This phenomenon isn't unique to the Bilderberg Group. Instances of elite gatherings have often raised questions regarding accountability and representation in decision-making. The media coverage of Bilderberg meetings tends to vary, with some outlets adopting a critical stance while others approach the subject with skepticism. Investigative journalism attempts to uncover the truth behind the closed doors of these meetings, sometimes leading to heated debates about the legitimate power these figures wield. It raises important questions about transparency in governance and accountability in positions of power. Watchdog groups and activists have also criticized the Bilderberg Group initiative for exclusionary practices. They contend that the elite nature of the meetings fails to reflect the complex realities and needs of ordinary citizens. These critiques emphasize how modern democracy often grapples with representation, and gatherings like this could deepen the divide between the ruling elites and the general populace. Nevertheless, some defend the concept of private meetings among influential individuals as a necessary aspect of diplomacy and global cooperation. They argue that informal guidelines and discussions foster genuine collaboration, enabling leaders to brainstorm solutions free from the constraints of public opinion or media portrayal. Despite the speculation or intrigue surrounding the Bilderberg Group, many of the issues discussed are undeniably vital. The world faces multifaceted challenges, and conversations among leaders about strategies to combat these issues can be constructive. Striking a balance between necessary confidentiality for candid dialogue and the demand for transparency remains one of the group's most controversial aspects. As the narrative about the Bilderberg Group continues to evolve, so do the lenses through which we understand power dynamics in the modern world. Analyzing the role of exclusive gatherings in shaping governance and policy can provide insight into the complexities of leadership in our interconnected society. Documenting both the opportunities for innovation and critiques around representation creates a nuanced portrait of elite dialogues. In summary, the Bilderberg Group stands at the intersection of power, secrecy, and global challenge. While the group's clandestine discussions have drawn criticism for their lack of accountability, they also represent an essential space for dialogue among decision-makers. As global events continue to unfold and the world evolves, the relevance of discourse among elite circles remains a point of ongoing inquiry and debate. Each meeting may offer new narratives and reflections of the influential forces that shape our time, reminding us to be vigilant and engaged in the global conversation. The legend of Atlantis has captivated the imaginations of many for centuries. This mythical island civilization, described by the ancient philosopher Plato in his dialogues, is said to have been a place of great power, wealth, and knowledge. But what is it about Atlantis that continues to spark curiosity? Let's explore the theories surrounding its existence and the possible reasons for its mysterious disappearance. According to Plato, the story of Atlantis was passed down from generations, allegedly originating from Egyptian priests, who had spoken of a powerful and advanced civilization that existed around 9,000 years before his time. He described Atlantis as a magnificent island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. With cities embellished with grand palaces, vast gardens, and advanced technology, Atlantis was seen as the pinnacle of societal achievement. One popular theory regarding the existence of Atlantis suggests that it was based on real historical locations that have either been misrepresented or fictionalized over time. Some researchers point to the Minoan civilization, which thrived on the island of Crete and experienced a catastrophic volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. The eruption led to tsunamis and widespread destruction, which could have inspired the Atlantis myth in Plato's writings. The Minoans had advanced infrastructure, commercial networks, and artwork that point to a highly developed society, raising the question of how much of Atlantis was real. Another intriguing possibility lies in the idea that Atlantis might have connections to various ancient civilizations, such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, or even the Indus Valley civilization. These societies once held advanced knowledge in areas like mathematics, astronomy, and engineering, sharing many similarities with the descriptions of Atlantis. Some scholars believe that valuable secrets of these cultures could have been lost over time, creating an echo of their achievements in the Atlantis legend. Geological theories also present compelling explanations. Some researchers propose that natural disasters may have played a role in the demise of Atlantis. Earthquakes, volcanic activity, and rising sea levels could have caused sudden and catastrophic changes to the region, making it uninhabitable. For example, the submerged remains of a landmass known as Doggerland, which connected Great Britain to continental Europe, have come to light through underwater archaeological explorations, leading some to believe that similar landscapes could have once existed where Atlantis is said to be. In addition to natural disasters, the possibility of climate change cannot be overlooked. Historical evidence shows that ancient civilizations faced significant climate shifts, impacting their agricultural systems and livelihood. A gradual change in climate could have led to droughts or floods, pushing populations to abandon their homelands. Some believe that Atlantis, with its sophisticated agricultural practices and infrastructure, may have succumbed to similar environmental challenges, leading to its eventual disappearance. Moreover, the idea of Atlantis as a metaphor for lost wisdom and enlightenment has also evolved. In contemporary discussions, people often interpret the legend as a cautionary tale warning against hubris and moral decay. Atlantis symbolized a society that reached incredible heights, but ultimately fell victim to its own arrogance and recklessness. This interpretation serves as a reminder of the balance necessary within civilizations. Too much ambition without sustainability may lead to a crisis that echoes through time. Interestingly, the search for Atlantis has led adventurers and researchers across the globe, from the Caribbean to the Mediterranean. Some have proposed locations such as the Caribbean island of Bimini, where underwater formations resembling structures might suggest an advanced civilization. Others have looked to a site called Santorini, associated with the Minoans, where volcanic eruptions reshaped the island and possibly gave rise to the Atlantis legend. Despite the many theories and countless quests for evidence, the reality is that no conclusive archaeological proof of Atlantis has been found. The myth continues to endure, supported in part by the allure of what a highly advanced civilization might have achieved. The fascination is also tied to humanity's desire to understand its roots and the complexity of past societies. The legend of Atlantis encourages exploration not just of lost lands, but also of our understanding of human progress and catastrophes. Whether as a historical reality or a cautionary tale, its legacy persists in the cultural consciousness, urging us to examine our own places in the world and the paths we carve for future generations. As we reflect on the possibilities, it is essential to consider what lessons can be drawn from such stories. The pursuit of knowledge, the importance of ethical practices, and the consequences of neglecting the delicate balance of nature can serve as guiding principles. The enduring mystery of Atlantis prompts deeper inquiry not only into ancient civilizations but also into our own existence and the world we inhabit today. The journey into history remains a fascinating exploration of human endeavor, a search for understanding that transcends time and continues to inspire generations to come. Fluoridation has been a topic of much debate and controversy for decades. On one side, there are health officials and dental associations who advocate for the addition of fluoride to public water supplies, citing its ability to reduce tooth decay and improve dental health. On the other hand, some individuals and groups assert a belief that this practice may be harmful, proposing various theories related to government motivation and public health. One common argument among those who are skeptical of fluoridation points to the origins of fluoride. Many are surprised to learn that the fluoride used in water supplies often comes from industrial byproducts rather than a naturally occurring mineral. This fact raises questions for some about the motivations behind its introduction into drinking water. They wonder if there is a hidden agenda to use fluoride as a tool of control rather than a genuine public health initiative. People also discuss potential health issues related to fluoride ingestion. Some claim that excessive fluoride can lead to dental fluorosis, which manifests as discoloration or pitting of the teeth. The argument draws on scientific studies that imply an association between high fluoride exposure and negative health outcomes, including thyroid problems and cognitive impairments. This has fueled concerns that fluoride's supposed benefits may come with hidden risks that are being downplayed by health authorities. The theory of government cover-ups often finds its way into discussions about fluoridation as well. Those who believe in this idea may argue that government agencies are prioritizing fluoride's public health narrative to facilitate its use while ignoring potential evidence of harm. They suggest that fear of backlash or the cost of addressing public health issues contribute to a deliberate withholding of information. This perspective tends to align with broader narratives about distrust in institutions, a sentiment that is not uncommon in various aspects of modern society. Moreover, the debate about fluoridation brings to light questions about consent and individual autonomy. Critics of the practice suggest that individuals should have the right to choose whether or not to ingest fluoride. This perspective leads to discussions around informed consent in medical and public health practices. Should health agencies really have the authority to medicate a population through the water supply? Such questions resonate deeply with those who value personal choice in matters of health and wellness. Historical events also play a role in shaping public perception around fluoridation. For instance, during the Cold War, some conspiracy theories emerged that suggested governments were testing substances on unsuspecting populations. While there may not be direct evidence linking these past events to current fluoridation practices, the historical context does influence how some individuals view government initiatives today. The idea of the public being a testing ground for experimental health strategies can be unsettling, making the topic of fluoridation ripe for suspicion. Further compounding the issue are social media platforms and online forums, where individuals can share their thoughts and theories about fluoride. These platforms can create echo chambers where beliefs are reinforced and popularized without scrutiny. Anecdotal evidence, often taken out of context, can lead individuals to believe that their concerns are more widespread than they actually are. The virality of certain narratives can enhance feelings of distrust and skepticism toward established institutions. Interestingly, some proponents of fluoridation argue that the benefits, which include significant reductions in dental cavities across entire populations, far outweigh any potential risks. They cite numerous studies that confirm the effectiveness and safety of water fluoridation at recommended levels, arguing that informed scientific consensus supports its use. This clash between scientific evidence and the public's perception can create a divide that feels hard to bridge. The conversation surrounding fluoridation also intersects with broader discussions about environmental and public health policies. For instance, advocates against fluoridation may also address concerns about pollution and chemical exposure in other areas of life. As communities begin to address issues like water contaminants and pesticide use, they often revisit the conversation around fluoridation and its role in public health strategies. This can add layers of complexity to the debate, as individuals start to connect various health narratives into a single framework of distrust. As societal values evolve, the dialogue regarding fluoridation continues to adapt. A movement toward transparency in how public health decisions are made has emerged, with many advocating for more clear communication from government agencies about the substances that are included in public water supplies. This desire for transparency often reflects a broader yearning for accountability in how health policies are developed and implemented. In conclusion, the topic of fluoridation brings together a variety of concerns that extend beyond merely adding fluoride to water. It interacts with themes of trust in government, the role of personal agency in health matters, and the evolving relationship between science and public perception. Whether one supports or opposes fluoridation, the conversation emphasizes the importance of seeking credible information while acknowledging the multitude of perspectives that exist in any discussion related to public health. As time progresses, this dialogue is likely to evolve, requiring continued examination and thoughtful consideration from all sides of the debate. In the world of political intrigue and psychological manipulation, few concepts are as captivating and complex as brainwashing and its potential implications for national security. One of the most iconic representations of this theme is found in the story of the Manchurian Candidate. This term has transcended its origins, permeating popular culture, film, and literature, while prompting us to examine the nature of free will and the power of the mind. At its core, the concept of the Manchurian Candidate revolves around the notion that an individual can be conditioned or brainwashed to perform actions contrary to their beliefs and desires. Imagine a person who has been meticulously trained through a combination of psychological techniques, inducing a state where they can be prompted to act without conscious awareness of their actions. This phenomenon raises profound questions about morality, autonomy, and the potential for manipulation by those in positions of power. The term originated from Richard Condon's 1959 novel, which was later adapted into a film. The story follows a group of American soldiers during the Korean War who were captured and subjected to neuropsychological conditioning. They return to the United States, unaware that one of their own has been transformed into a sleeper agent, programmed to execute an assassination upon receiving a specific trigger. This chilling premise explores the frightening potential of brainwashing, evoking fears of puppet-like individuals acting out the designs of unseen masters. Brainwashing, or coercive persuasion, is a contentious subject that has intrigued psychologists, sociologists, and political scientists. Techniques can range from isolation and sleep deprivation to intensive interrogation and indoctrination. In various historical contexts, these methods have been employed to extract confessions from political prisoners or to create loyal followers devoted to an ideology. The idea that individuals can be stripped of their agency and transformed into instruments of a larger agenda is both disturbing and fascinating. The Manchurian Candidate prompts us to reflect on real-world events that parallel its narrative. For example, during the Cold War, there were widespread fears about communist brainwashing tactics. Soldiers returning from conflicts were often suspected of being altered or indoctrinated by enemy forces. The notion that an enemy could infiltrate the minds of American citizens and soldiers created a pervasive sense of paranoia. This atmosphere led to a creative explosion of stories and theories that explored how deeply political agendas could penetrate the human psyche. The film adaptations of the story further cemented its cultural significance. In the original 1962 version, Angela Lansbury delivered a powerful performance as a manipulative mother, embodying the themes of control and influence. The narrative engaged audiences with its mix of suspense and ethical dilemmas. How far could one go to achieve a political goal, and what cost does such manipulation incur on the human soul? In 2004, a remake introduced the story to a new generation, emphasizing modern political anxieties and concerns about technology and media influence. The fascination with brainwashed individuals extends beyond the realm of fiction. Various psychological experiments, such as the infamous Stanford Prison Experiment and the Milgram Experiment, have shed light on how ordinary people can commit extraordinary acts when influenced by authority or manipulated by their environment. These studies suggest that the boundaries of moral behavior can be hazy, and the implications for society are profound. Moreover, the theme of the Manchurian Candidate resonates with historical events involving spies and covert operations. The infamous MKUltra project, undertaken by the CIA, is a haunting example of government experimentation with mind control. While the true extent of these activities remains partially shrouded in secrecy, they bring to mind the strategies used to subvert individuals for intelligence purposes. The briefings and testing that some unsuspecting individuals endured illustrate the potential for abuse of power under the guise of national interest. In examining the brainwashed individual concept, we encounter the notion of the sleeper agent. These individuals might walk among us, seemingly ordinary yet harboring lethal capabilities triggered by specific stimuli. The idea that someone could be activated to carry out an assassination or act of sabotage creates a chilling scenario, highlighting the vulnerabilities of democratic societies. The potential for infiltration by ideological zealots or foreign agents paints a picture where trust becomes a fragile commodity, and paranoia could be a government's best defense. Culturally, the Manchurian Candidate and its various interpretations serve as a warning of the repercussions that arise from unchecked power. They encourage audience members to be vigilant about who influences their thoughts and actions. The exploration of themes like loyalty, betrayal, and the significance of personal agency resonates deeply with our lives and the complexities of modern governance. Ultimately, the allure of the Manchurian Candidate lies in its interplay between fiction and reality. It invites us to reflect critically on the nature of power and domination and the ethical boundaries we must navigate. As we immerse ourselves in these narratives, we gain insight into the fragile nature of human autonomy and the potential for manipulation that exists within societal structures. The haunting premise serves as both a cautionary tale and an exploration of the intricate dynamics of human psychology in the face of coercive forces. So the next time you consider influence, think of the layers of complexity that might lurk beneath the surface, shaping actions and decisions in ways we might not fully comprehend. Deep inside the heart of Vatican City lies a treasure trove of history, a realm shrouded in mystery and fascination, the Vatican's secret archives. Established over several centuries, the archives hold a staggering collection of documents that span from the 8th century to the present day. This expansive library contains a wealth of correspondence, papal bulls, official documents, and personal letters, many of which are thought to hold secrets that could reshape our understanding of history. The very term secret archives can evoke notions of locked doors and whispered rumors. Yet, the notion of secrecy surrounding these archives is not simply about what is hidden from view. It has also stirred a kaleidoscope of theories and speculation. Many are drawn to the idea that within these walls lie documents that could challenge or perhaps even redefine historical narratives as we know them. One of the most enduring theories revolves around the existence of documents that may shed light on the Vatican's interactions with various governments throughout history. Imagine finding letters that detail the Vatican's relations during pivotal moments, such as the World Wars or the Cold War. Some theorists believe that these papers might reveal alliances or negotiations that shaped the political landscape, and the impacts of these relationships could still resonate today. What if these documents contain evidence that changes our understanding of the Vatican's role in historical events? Such revelations could alter perceptions of the Church's influence or moral stance during critical times. Another tantalizing possibility is the speculation about the Vatican's knowledge of suppressed religious texts. Many individuals are captivated by the notion that certain writings may exist within these archives, texts that could offer alternative perspectives on well-known religious stories or teachings. The discovery of such documents could ignite debates about the origins of Scripture, or shed light on early interpretations of faith. Just think of the implications if writings were uncovered that challenged centuries-old beliefs. The foundations of faith could be questioned in profound ways. Moreover, there are intriguing theories regarding documents related to figures from history whose legacies have been controversial. The manuscript possibilities are vast. They could include letters from infamous popes, political dealings with monarchs, or even correspondence with influential thinkers. Imagine unearthing a letter from a pope to a famous reformer, discussing the shifts in societal values or the evolving relationship with science. Such documents could provide vital context to understand the ideological battles that shaped Europe and, indeed, the world. The archives are also said to contain records of trials and inquiries, some of which are rumored to involve high-profile individuals. The possibility exists that within these pages lies information about heresy trials or investigations into assorted clerical misconduct. This notion brings to mind a dramatic narrative of intrigue and power struggles that may have transpired over the centuries. A historian could have a field day piecing together the fragments of information found within these records to portray an era of the Church that has often remained cloaked in shadows. The secrecy of the Vatican archives is not merely a modern phenomenon. It has historical roots. Throughout the ages, the preservation of certain texts has been deemed essential to protect the Church's image, to safeguard its teachings, or to maintain political power. This history of discretion has nurtured a climate of speculation. For centuries, conspiracy theories have flourished, encouraging imaginations to run wild with possibilities. Some even propose theories connecting the Vatican archives to archaeological discoveries. Could there be secretly documented findings that might change our comprehension of human history? Imagine correspondences detailing the unearthing of ancient relics, or sites tied to pivotal moments in the relationship between Christianity and other religions. What if these documents contain maps leading to undiscovered archaeological sites? The implications for historians, theologians, and the wider world could be astounding. Encounters between the Vatican and influential historical figures, such as artists, scientists, and philosophers, are particularly captivating. Speculations about available documents or letters exchanged could contribute significantly to the understanding of collaborative influences between the Church and these prominent individuals. What were the dialogues that unfolded with great minds like Leonardo da Vinci or Galileo? Such findings could alter not just our perception of the individuals, but also the Church's evolution in thought over the centuries. The intrigue surrounding the Vatican archives remains potent, even as scholars and historians are gradually granted access to parts of the collection. Each revelation, no matter how small, often ignites discussions and debates that spread far beyond the realms of academia. People everywhere are captivated by the hints of drama, enlightenment, and even scandal that the archives promise. As we ponder the layers of history and secrecy encapsulated within the Vatican secret archives, one cannot help but feel the weight of lost narratives and undiscovered truths. Each document, if unearthed, could weave a tale that contributes to the larger tapestry of humanity. The curiosity surrounding these hidden treasures invites us all to imagine the stories waiting to be told, ultimately connecting us to the past in ways we have yet to comprehend. As time goes on, we can only wait and wonder about the discoveries that may come to light, and how they will shape our understanding of the intricate dance between faith, history, and humanity. For now, the walls of the Vatican archives hold their secrets tightly, sparking both speculation and hope among those eager to unlock the mysteries of the past. The idea of Freemasons exerting influence over various aspects of global society is a topic that often piques curiosity and stirs debate. Freemasonry, a fraternal organization with roots tracing back to the late 16th to early 17th centuries, has long been shrouded in mystery and speculation. Numerous claims suggest that Freemasons play a significant role in influencing politics, banking, and even cultural movements around the world. Some believe that Freemasonry operates behind the scenes, guiding significant events and decisions crucial to societal functioning. For instance, theories abound about its involvement in the formation of governments, including the founding of the United States. The nation's capital, Washington, D.C., is often cited as an example, with its layout and architectural choices reflecting Masonic symbols and ideals. Proponents of this idea argue that figures such as George Washington and Benjamin Franklin, who were known Masons, infused the nation's beginnings with Masonic philosophies. Moving beyond politics, the claims extend into the finance sector. Some assert that the banking industry is heavily influenced by Masonic connections. Institutions like the Bank of England or the Federal Reserve are said to have foundational ties to Freemasonic principles. Supporters of this narrative argue that this influence allows Masons to maintain a stronghold over financial systems, facilitating control over monetary policies that affect vast populations. Critics of these claims often dismiss them as conspiracy theories, suggesting that such ideas stem from misunderstandings or fear of secret societies. Culture and entertainment are also arenas where Masonic influence is claimed to be significant. Some people scrutinize the film and music industries for symbols and themes that, they argue, reflect Masonic designs. This perspective suggests that Masons manipulate popular culture to further their ideological agenda, using media to create narratives that align with their beliefs. Movies, television shows, and music videos often attract attention for what some see as subliminal messages or hidden symbols intended to shape public perception. In addition to politics, finance, and culture, some theories link Freemasons to significant historical events and revolutions. The French Revolution, for example, is frequently discussed in relation to Masonic involvement. It is suggested that Masonic ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity inspired the movement, which fundamentally reshaped society in ways that echoed Masonic principles. Detractors argue that attributing such events solely to the influence of Freemasonry is an oversimplification, failing to consider the myriad factors at play in complex historical situations. Geopolitics often finds itself intertwined with claims of Masonic influence. Some conspiracy theories suggest that international organizations, such as the United Nations, have been infiltrated or influenced by Freemasons. This idea posits that these organizations, tasked with managing global cooperation, may secretly promote a Masonic agenda. This narrative presents a world stage where decisions made in high-level meetings may align more closely with Masonic philosophy than with the interests of the general populace. Discussing Masonic influence often entails examining the balance between fact and speculation. While it is undeniable that Freemasonry has been a part of history and that notable figures across various fields have been members, the extent of that influence is where opinions divide. There is no conclusive proof to demonstrate that there is a global conspiracy orchestrated by Freemasons controlling various aspects of society. Much of the discourse is rooted in conjecture and often reflects broader societal fears surrounding power, secrecy, and the unknown. Moreover, the very nature of Freemasonry contributes to its enigmatic reputation. The organization operates on principles of brotherhood, charity, and moral development, often shrouded in secrecy concerning its rituals and internal workings. This veil provides fertile ground for speculation and conspiracy theorizing, where secrecy is misconstrued as sinister intent. With its historical connections to influential figures and its tendency to attract those in power, Freemasonry remains a tantalizing subject of discussion. The global influence of Freemasons is a topic that evokes strong opinions and fervent discussions. Whether viewed as a group working toward enlightenment and civic betterment, or as a shadowy organization controlling global events, the discourse surrounding Masonic influence invites exploration into the complex interplay of history, power, and secrecy. Ultimately, the intrigue lies in the ongoing fascination with how hidden networks might shape society and challenge the established narratives of power. With each claim and counterclaim, the discussion surrounding Freemasonry and its alleged influence reveals layers of cultural anxieties about authority, control, and the complexities of modern governance. Whether Freemasons hold the reins of power, or are merely another element in the rich tapestry of society, their legacy continues to spark curiosity and debate, highlighting the human tendency to seek connections in a world full of uncertainties. The High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, commonly known as HAARP, has become a source of fascination and intrigue for many. This advanced scientific research program was originally established in the 1990s by the United States military, with the primary aim of studying the ionosphere. The ionosphere is a layer of the Earth's atmosphere that is crucial for radio wave transmission and communication. However, has attracted attention for alleged connections to weather modification and mind control. To understand the allure of conspiracy theories surrounding HAARP, we first need to explore its core technologies. At the heart of HAARP is a powerful array of high-frequency antennas, which are designed to send pulses of energy into the ionosphere. This energy interacts with the atmospheric particles, creating phenomena that can be studied to improve communication and surveillance systems. The idea of using technology to interact with nature raises questions about the extent of human influence over natural processes. Some conspiracy theorists assert that HAARP's capabilities extend beyond scientific research, proposing that it can manipulate weather patterns. They cite instances of unusual weather phenomena, such as sudden thunderstorms or droughts, as potential evidence of weather modification. Proponents of this theory suggest that HAARP can generate powerful atmospheric disturbances and steer them in desired directions. Imagining HAARP as a tool for creating or controlling storms, floods, or even earthquakes has captivated the imaginations of many. This perspective feeds into a narrative that powerful entities might be using science to exert control over the environment. Examining individual weather events can also add fuel to this fire. Consider Hurricane Katrina in 2005. One of the deadliest hurricanes in American history. Some individuals surfaced with wild claims that the storm could have been somehow engineered or amplified through HAARP technology, despite the fact that meteorologists attribute the hurricane's intensity to natural factors. This narrative showcases how easily fear and suspicion can intertwine with significant weather events. Beyond weather modification, allegations also circle around HAARP's potential for mind control. The notion that frequencies emitted by HAARP could be used to influence thoughts or behaviors taps into a rich history of conspiracy theories that link electromagnetic waves with psychological manipulation. This line of thinking often draws upon the idea that humans are susceptible to various frequencies, and that long-term exposure can lead to changes in mood or cognitive function. While scientific research does indicate that certain frequencies can impact brain function, the leap from research to practical application, particularly for mind control, remains vast and largely unfounded. Mental health experts and neuroscientists caution against oversimplifying the complexities of human psychology and behavior. Nonetheless, this idea continues to flourish among conspiracy theorists, who often point to government secrecy and a lack of transparency surrounding HAARP as reasons for suspicion. Another element fueling the HAARP conspiracy narrative is the human tendency to attribute unforeseen or chaotic natural events to some form of hidden control or orchestration. When people experience something extraordinary, such as an unexpected natural disaster, they often seek to comprehend these events through stories of powerful and unseen forces at work. This pattern of thought can serve a psychological function, providing a sense of order in a seemingly unpredictable world. Moreover, the intersection of military interests and scientific research often raises eyebrows. HAARP was initially funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, which lends an air of mystery to the project. In a world where military advancements often occur behind closed doors, the public fascination with HAARP becomes a compelling narrative of potential control and manipulation. Additionally, numerous documentaries and podcasts exploring conspiracy theories have helped to perpetuate interest in HAARP. Many of these productions take artistic liberties that lend dramatic weight to the idea of HAARP being a conduit for grand plans and schemes. Influential figures in popular media can substantially shape public perception, lending an air of credibility to these allegations even when they are unsupported by scientific evidence. In the broader context, the story of HAARP mirrors many conspiracy theories that suggest a struggle between knowledge and ignorance. On one hand, there is the often opaque world of scientific research and technological advancement. On the other hand, there exists a yearning for simple explanations to complex issues, leading people to connect dots that may not be intrinsically linked. Ultimately, while HAARP serves as a legitimate research facility focused on understanding the ionosphere, its reputation has been entangled with fascinating, yet largely unfounded claims regarding weather control and mind manipulation. These narratives illustrate not only the fears and distrust that people may harbor toward powerful institutions, but also the compelling nature of conspiracy theories in contemporary culture. Exploring HAARP allows for a deeper understanding of our relationship with science, nature, and the narratives we build around them. The merging of technological advancement and human imagination creates an intriguing landscape, inviting questions about control, power, and the unknown mysteries of our world. Whether you view HAARP as a benign scientific endeavor or a sinister tool for control depends on the lens through which you examine it. Engaging with these ideas encourages reflection on our understanding of both science and the myriad stories we tell ourselves about the forces shaping our reality. In recent years, discussions about Big Pharma have gained significant traction, leading many to express their concerns about the influence of pharmaceutical companies on health and medicine. At the core of this discussion is the belief that these companies prioritize profits over patients, potentially suppressing cures and effective treatments to maintain lucrative markets for ongoing therapies. Imagine a world where a breakthrough treatment exists for a mysterious disease, a cure that could relieve millions from suffering. However, this very cure is overlooked or downplayed by the companies that could produce it, all due to the fear that it would cut into their profits from ongoing treatments. The idea is intriguing yet unsettling, a scenario where the corporate bottom line trumps health innovation. This belief in a profit-driven approach is often fueled by various examples from history. For instance, the development of certain HIV medications has shown how rapid investment in research and development can lead to life-saving treatments. However, this very success raises questions about accessibility, as the prices for these medications can be astronomical. Many wonder if the same urgency would apply to a one-time cure as it does to lifelong therapies. The story of the EpiPen is another example that comes to mind. A life-saving device for allergy sufferers saw its price skyrocket over the years, prompting public outcry and raising concerns about the ethics behind pharmaceutical pricing. Critics of Big Pharma point to the extensive lobbying power these companies wield. It has been reported that pharmaceutical companies spend millions on lobbying efforts to influence legislation in their favor. This raises the question of whether their influence over lawmakers might result in policies that do not prioritize patient care as much as they should. When financial interests are at play, some wonder if the focus shifts away from public health towards maximizing shareholder profits. Moreover, many whistleblowers have come forward claiming to have witnessed practices within pharmaceutical companies that are troubling. They speak of being pressured to manipulate data from clinical trials or to downplay side effects in marketing campaigns. These alarming testimonies feed into public suspicion and further bolster the narrative that these entities might prioritize profits over transparency. Let us consider for a moment alternative approaches that exist outside the conventional pharmaceutical landscape. The holistic health movement emphasizes natural treatments, herbal remedies, and lifestyle changes. Proponents argue that these practices often get downplayed because they do not fit into the profit-driven model of conventional medicine. Furthermore, this has led to the exploration of alternative therapies that seem to get less attention from the mainstream. Acupuncture, homeopathy, and other types of natural medicine could provide solutions or relief that go unnoticed, as they do not represent significant profit opportunities. Public awareness is on the rise, thanks in part to the internet and social media. In the age of information, people are becoming more skeptical and critical of the status quo. They are more inclined to research their options, explore alternative treatments, and question narratives pushed by pharmaceutical companies. Moreover, online platforms have given a voice to those who challenge traditional views, allowing discussions around the ethics of pharmaceutical marketing and manufacturing practices to gain momentum. In an increasingly interconnected world, patient advocacy groups also play a crucial role. These organizations work tirelessly to inform people about health issues and encourage transparency and accountability in pharmaceutical practices. They often bring light to issues that might otherwise remain hidden and push for policies promoting equitable access to essential medications. The question of Big Pharma's influence extends beyond medicine alone. It reaches into the realms of ethics, corporate responsibility, and even societal values. How do we reconcile the necessity for profit in a capitalist society with the fundamental right to health and well-being? The balance between innovation and revenue generation remains delicate, as society must navigate the complexities of pharmaceutical advancements. Notably, this debate isn't limited to one geographic location, it spans the globe. In some countries, the public health system is drastically different, affecting the relationship between pharmaceutical companies and the people they serve. This can lead to innovators in one part of the world struggling to break through in markets where access issues prevail, despite the potential benefits their products could deliver. Ultimately, the narrative around Big Pharma is multifaceted. It is not simply a tale of good versus evil, but rather a nuanced discussion about ethics, healthcare accessibility, innovation, and corporate accountability. As society advances, the questions we ask and the conversations we have about these entities will shape the future of healthcare and influence how our collective health journey unfolds. While the allure of profit cannot be dismissed, the hope remains that the passion for innovation, the quest for cures, and the drive for better public health will ultimately guide pharmaceutical advancements. As audiences become increasingly engaged in these conversations, a new era of awareness may emerge, focusing on the value of health over wealth in the realm of medicine. Flat Earth theory presents an alternative perspective on our planet's shape, arguing that Earth is flat rather than a sphere. This belief has roots in ancient civilizations, where many cultures envisioned the Earth as a flat disk. Notable ancient civilizations, such as the Greeks, had philosopher-thinkers like Anaximander and Ptolemy, who speculated about the nature of the Earth and its position in the universe, contributing to early discussions about its shape. In our modern world, the Flat Earth movement has gained attention, particularly on the internet and social media platforms, where countless individuals express their views and share evidence supporting a flat Earth. Advocates argue that photographs and videos from various sources, including space agencies, are often manipulated or fabricated. These beliefs suggest that the depiction of Earth as a sphere is part of a larger conspiracy involving scientists, governments, and educational institutions. One of the central arguments made by proponents of flat Earth theory involves the perception of the horizon. They claim that when you look out over the ocean or across a vast landscape, the horizon appears flat, not curved. This observation leads many to question the authenticity of models that depict a round Earth. Flat Earthers often use simple experiments, like photographing distant objects across large bodies of water, claiming such objects should be obscured by curvature if the Earth were indeed spherical. Supporters also refer to the way water behaves. They maintain that water always finds its level and cannot curve. Water, they argue, lays flat across its surface, further supporting their claim of a flat Earth. This perspective leads to the assertion that oceans and lakes maintain a flat surface that should not be possible if Earth were a sphere. They argue that if the Earth were round and spinning at a high rate, the water should have a visible curve, which they claim is not observable in everyday life. Another point raised by flat earthers is the concept of gravity. They challenge the mainstream understanding of gravity, suggesting that it cannot account for many observed phenomena. Some flat Earth theorists propose that instead of gravity acting to pull objects towards the center of a spherical Earth, it is the upward acceleration of a flat Earth that keeps everything grounded. This idea dismisses gravitational force as a central concept in physics, instead proposing a fundamentally different explanation for why things fall and how objects are held to the surface. Flat Earth theory has also inspired a community of enthusiasts who gather at events, share their findings, and collaborate on projects to spread awareness. This network has grown due to the internet, where videos, podcasts, and written content help discuss and promote the ideas behind a flat Earth. Various social media platforms create spaces for supportive dialogue, allowing individuals to rally around a common belief while providing a sense of belonging and identity. Despite the empirical evidence provided by centuries of scientific research and exploration that supports a spherical Earth, some devotees claim that scientific institutions conceal the truth about the Earth's shape. This belief in a vast conspiracy can be quite appealing, as it feeds into a wider narrative of skepticism towards authority and institutions. The Flat Earth movement, therefore, taps into deeper societal concerns around trust in experts, the nature of knowledge, and how information is disseminated within society. Flat Earth theory has led to a number of debates and discussions, not only within the community but also outside it. It challenges established scientific paradigms and calls into question the methods by which we validate knowledge. This ongoing conversation around differing perspectives affects how we think about consensus in science, the nature of belief and evidence, and the importance of critical thinking. Throughout history, many scientific ideas have been initially met with skepticism before eventually being embraced. Flat Earth theory serves as a contemporary case study in how people process information, cling to their beliefs, and navigate the complex relationship between knowledge and individual perception. In summary, while the overwhelming scientific evidence supports a spherical Earth, Flat Earth theory represents a unique and thought-provoking worldview that explores themes of belief, trust, and the quest for understanding in an increasingly complex world. It continues to intrigue many, encouraging discussions about the nature of truth, the process of knowledge acquisition, and the power of community in shaping our understanding of reality. Whether one agrees or disagrees with its premises, the conversation around Flat Earth theory invites us to think critically about what we accept as fact and encourages ongoing exploration of our universe and our place within it. The assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, remains one of the most significant events in American history. Dr. King was a prominent leader in the civil rights movement, widely known for his commitment to nonviolence and social justice. His untimely death not only shocked the nation, but also raised several questions that continue to provoke discussion and controversy. Among these questions are the various conspiracy theories that have emerged over the years, suggesting that there were more complex forces at work behind his assassination. The official narrative holds that James Earl Ray, a petty criminal, was responsible for the murder of Dr. King. He was apprehended on June 8, 1968, and later pleaded guilty to the assassination, receiving a 99-year prison sentence. However, Ray's subsequent claims of being set up and manipulated by others have fueled skepticism. Some believe that Ray was merely a pawn in a larger conspiracy. One of the main conspiracy theories centers around the idea that multiple organizations, including government agencies, might have had motives to silence Dr. King. King's activism was not only focused on racial equality, but also extended to issues of economic justice and opposition to the Vietnam War. His views drew ire from various quarters, including some government officials who found his messages of nonviolence and social revolution increasingly threatening. Another theory posits that the FBI, under the direction of J. Edgar Hoover, actively sought to undermine Dr. King's influence. Hoover viewed King as a potential threat and authorized extensive surveillance of him and his organization. Some conspirators speculate that the FBI's actions went beyond surveillance and may have included a plot to assassinate King. This theory gained traction when it was revealed that the FBI had attempted to discredit King through intimidation and smear tactics, including sending him an anonymous letter urging him to commit suicide due to alleged infidelities. Additionally, theories about involvement from other civil rights leaders or organizations have emerged. Some suggest that internal tensions within the movement may have led certain individuals to conspire against King, believing that his approach to civil rights was too moderate. The divisions within the movement at the time, especially between more radical factions and those advocating nonviolence, created a charged atmosphere where betrayal was a real possibility. Amid these theories, the official investigations, including the House Select Committee on Assassinations in the late 1970s, concluded that while James Earl Ray acted alone, there were still unanswered questions about the circumstances surrounding King's death. This ambiguity has fostered an environment ripe for speculation and conjecture. The absence of compelling evidence pointing toward a definitive second party continues to leave many unconvinced. The urban unrest following Dr. King's assassination led to riots across the United States, advancing a narrative that echoed the fears of many in power. Some view this chaotic aftermath as a possible reason for further conspiracy theories, suggesting that adapting the story to align with government narratives was crucial to late 1960s leaders who sought to maintain order. Adding to the complexity are the numerous narratives surrounding the implications of King's assassination itself. The legacy of Dr. King has often been romanticized, leading to the construction of myths and an oversimplification of his messages. However, many contend that these layers of idealization do a disservice to the reality of the threats he faced, both from within and outside the civil rights movement. Witness testimonies collected immediately following the assassination varied widely, complicating the timeline of events. Some individuals believe they heard multiple shots fired, which has led many to question whether Ray acted alone. Eyewitness accounts have indicated a sense of confusion that night, with people recalling different perspectives on the actions and events unfolding at the Lorraine Motel. Ultimately, the conspiracy theories surrounding Dr. King's assassination highlight the profound desire for truth and accountability regarding a man who had a lasting impact on civil rights in America. They illustrate how historical narratives can sometimes be manipulated, misinterpreted, or forgotten altogether. The questions generated from this tragic event reflect broader themes of mistrust, systemic oppression, and the search for justice within a society that has seemed reluctant to confront its past. As time has passed, the continuing discussions about Dr. King's assassination serve as a reminder of the contentious and complex nature of social movements. His legacy urges us to reflect on the links between activism, power, and the struggle for equality. Exploring these conspiracy theories allows us to engage with the subtleties of history and encourages a thoughtful appraisal of the forces that seek to influence, silence, or erase voices advocating for change. These conversations also highlight the ongoing conversations about civil rights, equity, and representation that remain relevant in today's landscape. In this way, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. opens up discussions not only about the past, but about the values and actions we carry into the future. Understanding the depths of his legacy requires us to grapple with these complex narratives, ensuring that awareness leads us toward a more informed and just society. Operation Northwoods was a plan developed by the U.S. Department of Defense in 1962, aimed at justifying military intervention in Cuba. At the height of the Cold War, the United States was deeply concerned about the spread of communism, particularly in its neighboring country, Cuba, which had gone through a revolution that brought Fidel Castro to power in 1959. Castro's government was aligned with the Soviet Union, leading to heightened tensions between the two superpowers and fostering a sense of urgency within the U.S. government. The proposed operation outlined a series of covert actions that were intended to provoke a hostile response from Cuba and rally public support for military action against the island nation. One of the key elements of the plan involved staging false flag terrorist attacks that would be blamed on the Cuban government. This approach was intended to create a narrative that would make it appear as though the U.S. was acting in self-defense rather than as an aggressor. Among the tactics suggested in Operation Northwoods were ideas such as hijacking civilian aircraft, sinking boats, and even staging attacks on American military bases, all of which would be designed to incite anger and fear among the American public. Imagine a scenario where a deception creates the impression of an unprovoked attack by an enemy nation. In this case, the U.S. could present itself as the victim, bolstering support for a military response. The plan also included the use of propaganda to support these overt actions. For instance, the U.S. could take advantage of the media by feeding stories that echoed the desired narrative of aggression from Cuba. The goal was to convince not only the American people, but also the international community that action against Cuba was necessary and justified. Although Operation Northwoods was drafted and presented as a serious option, it was ultimately rejected by the Kennedy administration. President John F. Kennedy was aware of the potential consequences of such drastic measures and opted for a more diplomatic approach regarding relations with Cuba, despite ongoing tensions and the looming threat of nuclear conflict during events such as the Cuban Missile Crisis. The existence of Operation Northwoods remained classified for several decades, but when it became public, it sparked significant discussion and debate about the ethical implications of the U.S. government's willingness to manipulate events to its advantage. Critics argued that it showcased a dangerous willingness to engage in deceit and manipulation for political gain, raising important questions about the morality of state actions during times of crisis. Today, the discussions surrounding Operation Northwoods serve as a reminder of the complexities involved in international relations and the lengths to which governments might go when they believe their interests are at stake. It highlights the interplay between national security, ethics, and public perception, which remains relevant in the context of contemporary global politics. While Operation Northwoods was never enacted, the plan reveals insights into the mindset of political and military leaders during a turbulent era. It serves as a case study for understanding the motivations behind government actions and the potential consequences of manipulation and deception in international affairs. As new generations of scholars, historians, and political scientists examine documents like those related to Operation Northwoods, they continue to draw lessons about power, responsibility, and the importance of transparency in governance. The discussions on this topic can lead to broader reflections on how governments engage with their citizens and how the narratives crafted by those in power can shape public opinion and influence historical outcomes. The story of Operation Northwoods urges us to remain vigilant regarding the actions of our governments and their justifications. It encourages critical thinking about the information presented to the public and highlights the importance of historical context in evaluating current events. As we reflect on past decisions, we can better understand the significance of accountability and the need for open dialogue about grievances and tensions that persist on the global stage. Overall, the narrative of Operation Northwoods is a fascinating chapter of history that offers a glimpse into the strategic thinking of the time and serves as a valuable reminder of the necessity for ethical considerations in the realm of politics. Understanding these events can help us navigate the complexities of international relations today, fostering a more nuanced perspective on how countries interact and the potential consequences of their actions. Through this lens, we can appreciate the delicate balance between security and morality and shaping the course of history. In the world of paranormal phenomena, some stories capture the imagination and intrigue of both skeptics and believers alike. One such story revolves around the famous photograph known as Freddie Jackson's Ghost, an image that has sparked countless debates about its authenticity, origin, and the mysteries of the afterlife. The photograph dates back to 1919 and features a group of airmen from the British Royal Air Force gathered for a picture after a funeral. Among them stands a ghostly figure, partially obscured and distinctly different from the other men, which many believe to be the spirit of Freddy Jackson. A talented mechanic, Jackson was tragically killed just days before this photograph was taken, as a result of an accident involving an airplane propeller. His untimely death left a mark on his comrades, as he was well loved and respected among them. When the photograph emerged in subsequent decades, it quickly became a focal point for paranormal enthusiasts and skeptics alike. At first glance, the image presents an interesting sight: a group of men dressed in military uniforms, all smiling and posed, except for the eerie presence of the spectral figure just behind one of the airmen. The figure resembles a soldier with a somewhat playful expression, mischievously catching a moment in time, while remaining largely translucent and ethereal. One cannot ignore the allure of the story itself, which adds layers of emotion and intrigue to the simple photograph. The idea that a beloved companion could return in spirit to join in a gathering, even after passing, resonates with many who seek comfort in tales of the supernatural. This connection to the emotional weight of loss and remembrance lends a haunting charm to the imagery and enlivens discussions about what happens after we leave this world. As discussions about the photograph grew, so did the investigation into its authenticity. Some skeptics posited that the ghostly figure was simply a result of double exposure, a common photographic mishap in the early 20th century. In those days, cameras were often manual and required considerable skill to operate. The theory suggests that Jackson's image could have inadvertently been captured in a frame overlapping the main photograph, explaining its ghostly appearance. In contrast, supporters of the photograph argue that the conditions surrounding its capture are far too precise for it to be a mere coincidence or error. Additionally, they often cite accounts from those who were present at the time the photograph was taken. Many of the surviving airmen purportedly claim that Freddy Jackson often played mischievous pranks, and the photograph reflects his spirit perfectly. The joyous nature of the ghostly figure aligns with the memories shared by his fellow servicemen, sparking more discussions about the character and essence of Freddy himself. Intriguingly, over the years, more analyses of the photo have been conducted using modern technology, debunking some of the earlier theories. Specialists in photography have examined the original negatives and found no signs of tampering or manipulation. This evidence has reignited the debate about the paranormal aspects of the photograph, generating interest from ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. The conversations surrounding the image also reflect deeper cultural reflections on how communities cope with grief and loss. For many people, the idea of a ghostly presence can be comforting, providing a sense that loved ones continue to linger around us. In this light, Freddy Jackson's ghost is not just a curiosity. It serves as a reminder of our human connections, the bonds of friendship, and the idea that love transcends even the boundaries of life and death. The photograph's legacy extends beyond skepticism and belief. It has found its way into popular culture and has inspired numerous works of fiction and documentaries. Cinema, literature, and art have all drawn inspiration from the image and the story it tells, showcasing the cultural significance of ghosts and what they symbolize. They often appear as reflections of our fears, hopes, and the mysteries that lie in the unknown. As collectors and historians examine this strange yet fascinating artifact, discussions surrounding its authenticity persist. Each new generation adds its voice to the ongoing debate, capturing the imaginations of those who seek answers about the afterlife. In an era of scientific advancement, the enduring mystery of Freddy Jackson's ghost remains a proudly unsolved enigma, inviting people from all walks of life to ponder the possibilities beyond what we can perceive with our senses. With every retelling of the story and every look at the photograph, we confront our own beliefs about life, death, and the possibility that the ties we forge may never truly break. Perhaps that is the real magic behind Freddy Jackson's ghost, an unshakable reminder of the spirit that connects us all, leaving us to ponder life's great mysteries. Ultimately, whether one believes in the existence of ghosts or dismisses them as mere tricks of light and shadow, the photograph of Freddy Jackson invites us to reflect on our relationships, our memories, and the ways in which we cherish those who have influenced our lives. Welcome to the fascinating world of Denver International Airport, a place often described as a hub of innovation and intrigue. Opened in 1995, this airport is not only the largest in the United States by land area, but also serves as a gateway for millions of travelers each year. However, what makes this airport particularly intriguing are the numerous rumors and conspiracy theories that surround it. These tales add an extra layer of mystique to an already impressive facility. One of the most talked about features of Denver International Airport is its size. Covering 33,531 acres, it is significantly larger than any other airport in the country. This vast area provides ample room for expansion, but it has also led to wild speculation. Some people believe that the sheer size of the airport is a deliberate choice intended to obscure secret underground tunnels and facilities. Tales of hidden bunkers and clandestine operations are sprinkled throughout local folklore, giving the airport a reputation that extends far beyond mere aviation. Among the most notorious rumors is the idea that the airport is home to a hidden Illuminati headquarters. Advocates of this theory claim that various symbols and artworks scattered throughout the airport serve as evidence of this secret society's influence. For instance, a massive blue Mustang sculpture with glowing red eyes, affectionately dubbed Blucifer by locals, has become emblematic of these narratives. The rumored connection to the supernatural and the ominous themes surrounding this statue have fueled discussions about what might lie beneath the airport's surface. The murals that adorn the walls of the main terminal add further layers of speculation to the airport's reputation. These vivid artworks depict various scenes, including children of different races in harmony and an apocalyptic landscape with gas masks and soldiers. Critics argue that the content is bizarre or even disturbing, while others believe it contains coded messages about a hidden agenda. Denver International Airport has even addressed these concerns, describing the murals as a celebration of cultural diversity and a call for peace, yet the debates continue, keeping the airport in the public eye. In addition to the murals and the Mustang, the airport's layout is a topic of interest. The design features a series of tunnels that some theorists have suggested could serve nefarious purposes. These tunnels were indeed built to help with baggage transport, but the idea that they might be conduits for more sinister activities lingers in the air. This has led to various stories about supposed underground cities or facilities hiding governmental projects that the public knows little about. Further enhancing this aura of conspiracy is the airport's unique architecture. The peaked roof resembles snow-capped mountains, yet some suggest that it represents a more arcane symbol, a concept of protection or guardianship. The airport's unusual design draws the eye and prompts questions about its real meaning. Could it be that Denver International was constructed to serve a function beyond mere travel, perhaps as a safe haven for the elite? Diving deeper, one cannot overlook the curious inscription found on the cornerstone of the airport. This stone bears a mysterious reference to the New World Order, further igniting theories about the airport's secretive purpose. While the airport officials consistently articulate that this is merely a nod to the foundational sponsor, those who thrive on conspiracy are drawn to its implications. The very mention of a New World Order evokes images of shadowy figures and clandestine meetings, fueling imaginations and discussions. Even the airport's name has been a topic of intrigue. It was named after the state capital, Denver, but some believe there is a deeper significance. The idea that Denver represents a programmed location for these underground activities fascinates the creative minds that delve into these theories, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Adding to the intrigue is the airport's occasional use of the phrase, "the airport that never sleeps." This catchy tagline has inspired various interpretations. While some see it as a dedication to the constant flow of travelers, others interpret it as an allusion to the ongoing mysteries hidden beneath. The catchphrase has become a charming twist in the narrative surrounding the airport's reputation. Meanwhile, the aura of secrecy isn't contained to the myths alone. Actual developments at Denver International Airport often attract attention. The airport has embarked on numerous projects to enhance passenger experience and increase efficiency, yet the nature of construction and development has spurred new theories. Are these projects just a means to better serve travelers, or is there an underlying motive that remains concealed from public view? Ultimately, the allure of Denver International Airport lies in its dual identity. On one hand, it is a state-of-the-art transportation hub facilitating travel for millions. On the other hand, it stands as a canvas for the imagination, where tales of hidden agendas, underground cities, and mysterious organizations mingle with the everyday bustle of airport life. Visitors may arrive for flights, but they often leave with questions and a sense of wonder about the deeper narratives that seem to envelop this remarkable location. So whether you're lounging in the vibrant concourses or gazing up at the iconic architecture, Denver International Airport invites you on a journey of exploration, not just of the skies above, but also of the complexities that dwell within its walls. Embrace the stories, engage with the rumors, and allow the spirit of curiosity to guide you through one of the most captivating airports in the world. The Loch Ness Monster, affectionately known as Nessie, has intrigued the minds of many for decades. Sightings of this elusive creature have sparked numerous theories about its existence, capturing the imagination of locals and visitors alike. Let us delve into some of the most intriguing theories surrounding Nessie. One of the most popular theories suggests that Nessie is a surviving plesiosaur, a large aquatic reptile that roamed the earth during the time of the dinosaurs. Proponents of this theory argue that the depths of Loch Ness may provide a suitable environment for such a creature to thrive for millions of years, hidden from the prying eyes of modern explorers. Fossils of plesiosaurs indicate they were well adapted to life in the water, with long necks and a streamlined body perfect for moving through the depths of a lake. Supporters of this theory often cite sonar readings that seem to indicate large, unexplained shapes lurking in the murky waters. Another compelling theory revolves around the notion that Nessie is a large sturgeon or catfish. These fish, known for their size and elusive nature, could potentially explain the occasional sightings of a creature that appears to swim with a distinct undulating motion. The sturgeon, in particular, is known to be a prehistoric species that has survived for thousands of years. Some researchers believe that a breed of fish could have become undiscovered in Loch Ness, growing to enormous sizes in the secluded waters. The mythological perspective also adds a fantastical layer to the tale of Nessie. In Scottish folklore, legends of water serpents and other creatures abound, suggesting that the Loch Ness Monster could be rooted in ancient stories passed down through generations. These tales often depict mystical creatures that guard the lakes and rivers, embodying both the beauty and the mystery of the natural world. The association of Nessie with folklore may also serve to strengthen cultural identity, making the loch a center of local pride and supernatural intrigue. In more modern times, the phenomenon of mass hysteria or collective delusion has been suggested as a reason for many Nessie sightings. In a world saturated with media and stories of unexplained phenomena, people may be influenced to believe they see something extraordinary when they are, in fact, experiencing common optical illusions or misinterpreting natural occurrences. The reflections of waves, the play of light on water, and even the shapes of boats can create imagery that the mind fills in with a mythical narrative. The tourism industry in the Loch Ness area thrives on the legend of Nessie, which leads to another theory suggesting that some sightings may be fabricated or exaggerated for the purpose of drawing attention. Businesses and local guides may create Nessie-related merchandise or promote tours that promise encounters with the legendary beast, feeding off the aura of mystery that surrounds the loch. This theory posits that the economic benefits of the monster's fame are too enticing for certain individuals or companies to ignore. For a scientific approach, researchers have turned to environmental DNA, eDNA sampling, a method that allows scientists to detect DNA present in a body of water without needing to actually see or catch the creature. By analyzing samples from Loch Ness, scientists aim to identify specific species living within its depths. While no definitive evidence has emerged to prove the existence of Nessie, this approach continues to fuel the debate, suggesting that there may still be secrets hidden beneath the waves. Some enthusiasts posit that Nessie could indeed be real, but is not a single entity. Instead, it could represent a group of unknown species, each contributing to the sightings and stories. This idea opens a new realm of possibilities, ranging from undiscovered species of fish to unusual yet identifiable forms of aquatic life. The suggestions of multiple creatures could account for the fluctuations in sightings and descriptions, leading some to believe that something uniquely special resides in Loch Ness. Lastly, the camera effects and the advancement in technology have led to numerous hoaxes and manipulated images posing as evidence of Nessie. As photography and video editing software become more sophisticated, skeptics argue that some iconic pictures of the Loch Ness Monster have been debunked as clever fabrications. This raises an interesting point about the authenticity of the evidence surrounding Nessie. As our tools improve, so too do the methods of deception. Regardless of the numerous theories, the story of Nessie continues to captivate hearts and minds worldwide, fostering curiosity about what lies beneath the surface. Whether the Loch Ness Monster is an ancient survivor, an elusive fish, or a figment of our imagination, the enigma of Nessie remains a study in humanity's desire for wonder. From the shores of the loch to legends whispered in the shadows, the tale continues to thrive, inspiring generations to keep looking for the extraordinary in the ordinary, where anything is possible in the mystique of nature's playground. So, next time you find yourself near the serene waters of Loch Ness, take a moment to reflect on the wonders that may be hidden just beneath the surface, waiting to spark a new tale to be told. In the realm of conspiracy theories, few ideas capture the imagination quite like the Reptilian Elite Conspiracy. This theory suggests that a race of shape-shifting reptiles has infiltrated the highest levels of power in our world, controlling governments, corporations, and even the media. The origins of this theory can be traced back to the writings of individuals who have posited that a select group of alien beings masquerading as humans manipulate global events for their own benefit. The concept of reptilian beings isn't entirely new. Throughout history and across various cultures, stories and myths have spoken of reptilian entities or gods. From ancient Egyptian deities like Sobek, the crocodile god, to the serpent in biblical tales, there has always been a fascination with creatures that resemble reptiles. However, in the modern context, it is David Icke, a former footballer and sports broadcaster from the United Kingdom, who played a significant role in popularizing the idea of the reptilian elite in the late 20th century. Icke claims that these reptiles are interdimensional beings who can shapeshift into human form. According to his narrative, many of the world leaders and influential figures are, in fact, these reptilian entities. It is reported that they derive power from human fear and suffering, manipulating society to maintain their control. Proponents of this theory often cite political figures, celebrities, and high-ranking officials as examples of individuals who allegedly belong to this secret reptilian race. One of the compelling aspects of the Reptilian Elite Conspiracy is the idea of hidden truths and the allure of secret knowledge. Imagine a world where you uncover layers of deception and realize that the very leaders you trust are not who they appear to be. This aspect draws many people into the narrative, prompting them to question everything they once accepted without skepticism. It serves as a reminder that throughout history, many governments and institutions have kept secrets that, when revealed, could reshape our understanding of reality. Supporters of the theory often point to various examples of what they perceive as reptilian behavior. They interpret certain gestures, mannerisms, or speaking patterns of public figures as indicative of their reptilian nature. For instance, they may analyze events or speeches, claiming that strange coincidences or abrupt shifts indicate a person's inability to fully maintain their human disguise. It creates a lens through which to view the actions of the powerful, as part of a grand narrative of control and stealth. Critics of this theory argue that it distracts from more tangible and verifiable issues within society. They highlight the importance of addressing political corruption, economic inequality, and social injustice, rather than getting sidetracked by fantastical narratives. Indeed, concerns about power dynamics and the influence of wealth in politics are valid and pressing issues that deserve serious attention. Conspiracy theories like the reptilian elite can sometimes overshadow these discussions by introducing a sensational twist. What also adds to the enduring nature of the reptilian theory is its ability to adapt to current events. Throughout history, when political landscapes shift, or when crises emerge, so too do the tales of reptilian manipulation. Economic downturns, health pandemics, and geopolitical tensions can all fuel the fire of conspiracy as individuals look for scapegoats or explanations for the chaos unfolding around them. The idea that a clandestine group is orchestrating events from the shadows can be oddly comforting, suggesting that there is some degree of order behind the chaos. The allure of hidden societies and powers controlling world affairs is widespread. The Reptilian Elite Conspiracy taps into a fundamental human desire to make sense of a complex and often unpredictable world. When confronted with bewildering events, it can be easier to believe in a grand conspiracy, rather than accept the randomness of life or the multifaceted nature of societal challenges. We find ourselves asking, why do we gravitate towards such ideas? Part of the answer lies in a natural curiosity about the unknown and a fascination with the extraordinary. Our world is filled with mysteries, and some individuals seek out narratives that provide drama and intrigue, leading to a quest for answers that may remain hidden from mainstream understanding. For many, it becomes an exploration, a search for truth amidst what they perceive as lies, and the Reptilian Elite Conspiracy encapsulates that journey perfectly. Understanding the world through the lens of conspiracy theories like this one can be both entertaining and thought-provoking. Moreover, such narratives encourage critical thinking and promote discussions about power, control, and accountability within societies. In the end, whether one sees the world through a reptilian prism or maintains a more grounded perspective, these stories illuminate the rich tapestry of human thought, belief, and imagination. So the next time you hear about unseen forces at work behind global events, remember that stories like the Reptilian elite conspiracy reflect deeper anxieties and aspirations about power. They challenge us to look beyond the surface, prompting us to explore our beliefs, our fears, and perhaps the truth of what lies beneath the facade of everyday life. Embrace the journey of curiosity, and let it inspire you to seek knowledge, understanding, and wisdom in a world that often seems overwhelming. The Zodiac Killer is one of the most infamous figures in American criminal history, a shadowy figure who eluded capture while committing a series of brutal crimes in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Even today, his true identity remains a mystery, inspiring countless theories and discussions among amateur sleuths and professional investigators alike. Some of these theories are based on circumstantial evidence, while others lean heavily on cryptographic puzzles that the Zodiac himself left behind. One of the most popular theories revolves around the idea that the Zodiac Killer could be a local resident of the San Francisco Bay Area. This theory is based on the proximity of many of the murders to the area, suggesting that the killer had local knowledge. Several suspects have emerged from this theory, sharing backgrounds that seem to fit the profile of the Zodiac. Some researchers point to a man named Arthur Lee Allen, who was a convicted child molester and had been implicated in multiple suspicious activities tied to the Zodiac case. Despite never being definitively linked to the murders, several characteristics of his life seem to match the profile of the killer described in police reports, including his time spent in the region and his reported violent tendencies. Another frequent suspect named by enthusiasts is a man named Gary Francis Post, a serial killer who was arrested in the late 1970s. Post's background and lifestyle bore similarities to the Zodiac's, including a penchant for violence and a history that included encounters with law enforcement. Some investigators noted the eerie similarities between Post's method of operation and the Zodiac's, raising eyebrows family members and investigators alike. However, no concrete evidence has definitively tied him to the Zodiac case, and many remain skeptical of this connection. Cryptography plays an intriguing role in understanding the Zodiac Killer. One of the most famous aspects of the case is the series of ciphers that the Zodiac sent to newspapers, taunting police and the public with complex messages. These codes provided amateur code breakers with a chance to get involved in the investigation, leading to fascinating theories about their meaning. Some believe that solving these ciphers could hold the key to identifying the killer, while others argue that they may simply have been a sadistic way for the Zodiac to assert his intelligence over the authorities. The 340-character cipher, which remained unsolved for over 50 years, finally yielded to a team of amateur cryptographers in 2020. This breakthrough reignited public interest in the case and brought forward new theories based on its content. Some interpreted the message as containing clues about the Zodiac's background, or even his true identity. This idea of using codes to reveal personal information continued to captivate people, as they explored potential connections between the cipher's content and known suspects. The involvement of forensic science has also added another layer to the investigation. Advances in DNA technology have led some to believe that the key to cracking the case lies in unidentified genetic material left at the crime scenes. In recent years, authorities have begun to re-examine evidence, hoping that better techniques might yield answers. Some speculate that keeping the investigation alive could eventually lead to a breakthrough and the eventual identification of the Zodiac. While some believe that the Zodiac was an intelligent and meticulous planner, others think that he might have acted impulsively, driven by deep psychological issues. This has led to dive into the motivations behind his actions, sparking discussions about the psychology of serial killers. For instance, there are theories that classify him as a sadistic narcissist who thrived on the fear and attention he garnered. The idea that the Zodiac derived pleasure from outsmarting the police and the public is an unsettling notion that continues to haunt those who study the case. There are also intriguing connections to similar cases across America, which have led some to theorize that the Zodiac may have operated in tandem with other killers, or even inspired them. The span of crimes linked to him has led some to believe that he was not just a lone actor, but part of a broader network of individuals engaged in a horrifying game of cat and mouse with law enforcement. Finally, the Zodiac Killer's signature symbol of the cross circle has garnered attention in its own right. This enigmatic emblem has led to interpretations ranging from the artistic to the sinister, with some theorizing it could represent a deeper meaning related to death or identity. It adds to the mystique surrounding the killer and has become an iconic part of his legacy. As time passes, the true identity of the Zodiac Killer remains shrouded in mystery. Compelling theories continue to arise, capturing the imagination of those fascinated by both the case and the nature of criminal psychology. Each new lead, suspect, or cryptographic revelation serves to keep the legend alive, prompting questions that spark the curiosity of new generations. The possibility that answers could emerge at any moment keeps the investigation fresh, as the past and present collide in the search for the truth behind one of the most captivating enigmas in crime history. In the years following the tragic events of September 11, 2001, a significant shift occurred in how countries around the world approach national security and surveillance. Among the most prominent agencies involved in these practices was the National Security Agency, commonly known as the NSA. The stories surrounding the NSA's global surveillance practices have sparked public debate, revealing a complex web of technology, privacy, and security concerns. In the wake of the attacks, governments faced immense pressure to ensure the safety and security of their citizens. The perception of an ever-present threat led to a surge in the implementation of surveillance technologies. The NSA found itself at the forefront of this effort, utilizing advanced methods to monitor communications both domestically and internationally. The scope of the NSA's operations expanded dramatically, and many began to question how far these practices extended. In 2013, Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor, leaked a trove of documents that exposed the agency's extensive surveillance programs. What was revealed was unprecedented. The NSA was not only tapping into domestic communications, but had also forged partnerships with major tech companies and allied intelligence agencies around the globe. This revelation highlighted practices such as the bulk collection of phone records and the monitoring of internet data, sparking outrage and concern over individual privacy rights. Imagine a world where every phone call you make and every message you send could be monitored by an unseen observer. This invasion into personal exchanges raised ethical questions about the right to privacy. Many people were shocked to discover that the NSA was capable of collecting vast amounts of data on everyday citizens, not just those suspected of wrongdoing. The sheer scale of this surveillance stirred fears of a Big Brother state, where privacy seemingly ceased to exist. The conversations around global surveillance did not merely question the ethics of the NSA's practices, they also delved into the implications for democracy itself. Citizens now grappled with the realization that their personal information could be accessible without their knowledge or consent. The balance between security and liberty became a contentious topic, leading activists, lawmakers, and ordinary individuals to challenge the legality and morality of such invasive measures. In the aftermath of the Snowden revelations, new discussions emerged about the relationship between technology and security. Businesses and individuals started reevaluating the platforms they used and the information they shared. Some tech companies began promoting themselves as champions of user privacy, illustrating a shift toward greater awareness about data rights among the general public. This also fueled interest in encryption technologies, where more people began to adopt tools to secure their communications against unwanted surveillance. The global implications of NSA practices went far beyond American borders. International relations and foreign policies began to feel the impact of this surveillance. Allies found themselves questioning whether they could trust the United States, as millions of communications from foreign leaders, diplomats, and citizens were also being intercepted. The anger and betrayal felt by some of these nations indicated a deep rift that could have lasting consequences on diplomatic relations. Countries across the world had to reckon with the realities of surveillance within their own borders as well. Some responded by advocating for stricter privacy laws, pushing back against the encroachment of state power into the lives of citizens. Others, however, utilized the insights gained from the NSA's practices to bolster their own surveillance capabilities, illustrating a paradox where calls for privacy were often met with a counter-response seeking greater oversight. In popular culture, the debate surrounding mass surveillance became a focal point for numerous movies, documentaries, and television series. These works depicted the struggle between individual rights and state authority, reflecting society's collective apprehension about the extensive reach of surveillance technologies. This cultural examination helped frame the conversation, encouraging audiences to think critically about the implications of living in a digitally interconnected world. The discussion surrounding the NSA's activities raises crucial questions even now. As technology continues to evolve, the tools available for surveillance will likely become even more sophisticated. The challenges of maintaining privacy in a world where digital footprints are ubiquitous seem more formidable than ever. People must navigate the complexities of ensuring their security without surrendering their personal freedoms. As we reflect on the past and consider the future, the balance between security and privacy remains a pressing concern. How nations govern the tools they create will shape the societal landscape for years to come. With every new technological advancement, the discussions on ethics, privacy rights, and the role of government continue to evolve. In the end, the story of the NSA and global surveillance serves as a powerful reminder of the constant tug-of-war between liberty and security. It is a narrative that encourages all of us to remain vigilant, to question the status quo, and to advocate for a world where the rights of individuals are respected, even in the face of threats to safety. As we move forward, it is essential to engage in these conversations and ensure that history continues to guide us in the pursuit of both security and freedom. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is a creature that has captured the imagination of many for decades. Stories of enormous, hairy beings lurking in the shadows of dense forests and mountain ranges have circled campsites, homes, and communities. From casual hikers to dedicated researchers, countless individuals claim to have experienced encounters with this elusive figure. Reports of Bigfoot sightings can be traced back centuries, with many indigenous cultures across North America including legends of similar beings in their folklore. These descriptions often depicted a giant, ape-like creature roaming the woods, embodying both mystery and fear. As the modern era progressed, these tales began to morph into what we know today as the Bigfoot phenomenon. In the mid-20th century, the interest in Bigfoot surged significantly. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1958, when a construction worker named Jerry Crew discovered large footprints near Bluff Creek in California. He took plaster casts of the prints to showcase what he believed were the imprints of Bigfoot. This event spurred public curiosity and led to a surge in reported sightings across the United States. The 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film remains one of the most discussed pieces of evidence regarding Bigfoot's existence. Filmed in Northern California, the grainy footage depicts a large, bipedal figure moving through the forest. Despite much debate over the authenticity of this video, it continues to be a pivotal reference in the discussion around Bigfoot. Supporters argue that the film showcases a creature that walks upright in a manner unlike known animals, while skeptics suggest it could be a person in a suit. Sightings of Bigfoot have not been confined to just North America. Reports of similar creatures have emerged globally. In the Himalayas, tales of the Yeti, or the abominable snowman, have fascinated adventurers and climbers alike. In the Pacific Northwest, where dense forests provide ample cover, numerous sightings have been reported, causing locals and tourists to be on the lookout for any sign of the creature. Some claim they have heard its distinct vocalizations echoed in the mountains, described as deep, guttural howls or eerie screams. In more recent years, technology has played a role in hunting for Bigfoot. Researchers armed with night vision cameras, thermal imaging, and audio recording devices have ventured into the woods in search of evidence. Some have claimed to capture mysterious sounds that match descriptions of Bigfoot vocalizations, while others believe they have tracked unusual movements in the forest. Despite these attempts, the evidence remains inconclusive, and the legend of Bigfoot continues to be a topic of debate. Additionally, teams of investigators have set out armed with patience and determination. They methodically comb various locations, hoping to find anything that can contribute to factual evidence of Bigfoot. Many enthusiasts have established field research organizations dedicated to the search for this creature. These groups hold gatherings that invite both skeptics and supporters to explore the possibilities together, discussing experiences, sharing stories, and displaying evidence collected in the field. Another captivating aspect of the Bigfoot phenomenon is the reported experiences of people who claim to have had personal encounters with the creature. Accounts vary widely, ranging from terrifying sightings where individuals felt a sense of danger, to peaceful moments observing the creature from a distance. Some describe seeing the creature from their cars or while camping, detailing feelings of awe and fear as they witness the immense size and described features of Bigfoot. These narratives often include the distinct smell many claim accompanies the creature, described as earthy or musky, contributing to the overall mystique surrounding this enigmatic being. Skepticism about Bigfoot also abounds, as many researchers argue that the lack of definitive evidence is too significant to ignore. They point to the absence of credible physical remains, such as bones or fur, and assert that the vast majority of sightings can be attributed to misidentifications, hoaxes, and folklore. For every compelling story, there are a multitude of explanations that argue the creature may not exist at all. Yet, despite the skepticism and the unanswered questions, the legend of Bigfoot endures. It represents humanity's timeless fascination with the unknown and the wild places that still exist in the world. Whether a flesh and blood creature, a legend that has taken on a life of its own, or a symbol of our desire to explore what lies beyond, Bigfoot continues to provoke thought and imagination. From documentaries exploring its mythos to books dedicated to eyewitness accounts, Bigfoot remains a cultural phenomenon. The allure of the creature invites people into thrilling discussions, fostering community among believers and skeptics alike. As long as people share stories and experiences, as long as the call of the wild continues to echo across the forests, the legend of Bigfoot is likely to live on, capturing the curiosity of future generations as they ponder just what lies hidden in the depths of our natural world. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, is a unique institution that has long fascinated and intrigued people around the world. Nestled within the heart of Vatican City, this bank operates within the confines of the smallest independent state in the world, holding a powerful status that invites speculation and curiosity. While it primarily serves the financial needs of the Catholic Church and its various entities, the Vatican Bank has often been shrouded in mystery, giving rise to numerous conspiracies surrounding its operations. One of the most captivating conspiracy theories involves the bank's historical ties with influential political figures and organizations. Over the decades, there have been claims that the Vatican Bank has secretly funded various political movements and controlled significant financial resources that could sway global politics. Some speculate that it acted as a financial backbone for certain regimes during times of upheaval, citing examples from the Cold War era when the Church allegedly supported anti-communist groups. The intertwining of politics and religion creates a complex tapestry, raising questions about the extent of the bank's influence on world events. Another layer to the intrigue surrounds the bank's notorious history of financial scandals. The irregularities that emerged in the late 20th century painted a picture of a bank operating under a veil of secrecy. High-profile cases, such as the Banco Ambrosiano scandal, involved allegations of money laundering and connections to organized crime. These events tarnished the bank's reputation, leading many to wonder if there were ongoing unethical practices hidden from the public eye. Some theorists propose that the Vatican Bank still uses its elaborate financial structures to obscure transactions that could be deemed questionable or unethical, intentionally keeping the information away from regulatory bodies. The financial opacity of the Vatican Bank continues to spark rumors about hidden wealth. It is often said that a vast fortune lies within the bank's vaults, accumulated through decades of donations, investments, and estate holdings. This idea is not only sensational, but also intriguing when considering the scale of the Catholic Church's global presence. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that these hidden assets go beyond traditional banking practices. Claims of art collections, precious relics, and even real estate holdings around the world fuel the fire of speculation, illustrating a potential for great wealth that remains largely undisclosed. The concept of secretive banking practices is especially compelling when considering the Vatican's position as a sovereign entity. Unlike ordinary banks which operate under the scrutiny of national regulations, the Vatican Bank enjoys a level of autonomy. This independence raises questions about accountability. Some conspiracies posit that this leniency allows the bank to engage in practices that might be considered taboo or unethical by external observers. For example, there are theories suggesting that the Vatican Bank has been involved in currency speculation or investment in morally ambiguous areas, thus profiting from situations that conflict with the Church's teachings. Moreover, the Vatican's financial dealings with various nations raise eyebrows and fuel conspiracy theories. There have been claims that the Vatican engages in complex arrangements that benefit specific countries in return for influence or support. The idea that religious leaders might manipulate financial resources for geopolitical advantages adds an additional layer of intrigue. Instances of diplomatic meetings between Vatican officials and heads of state emphasize the delicate balance between faith and politics, where the bank potentially plays a supporting role behind the scenes. As we delve deeper, we uncover the shadowy world of offshore accounts and international investments. The concept of financial secrecy often leads to speculation that the Vatican Bank may participate in complex financial arrangements to protect its assets from taxation or scrutiny. This raises ethical questions regarding the Church's stance on wealth and responsibility. In a world where transparency is increasingly demanded, the veil of secrecy that surrounds the Vatican's financial operations invites criticism and fuels conspiracy theories. The religion and finance nexus can be compelling, and it highlights a potential moral dilemma faced by the Vatican. On one hand, the institution is guided by principles of charity, benevolence, and social justice. On the other hand, the intricacies of modern banking and finance can sometimes conflict with these ideals. Some speculate that the Vatican Bank wrestles with these contradictions, contributing to the mystique surrounding its operations. At its core, the Vatican Bank represents more than just a financial institution. It embodies centuries of history, faith, and power dynamics. It stands as a reminder of how opaque financial practices can give rise to suspicion and paranoia. The blend of finance and spirituality creates a fertile ground for speculation and conspiratorial thinking, leading many to question what truly goes on behind the closed doors of this enigmatic institution. Understanding the secrets of the Vatican Bank may not be easy, but the stories and theories surrounding it provide an answer to the question of what happens when the sacred intersects with the financial. As the world continues to evolve, one must ponder whether transparency will ever become the norm within the walls of this powerful institution, or if it will remain a realm of secrecy and mystique. As you reflect on the complexities that lie beneath the surface, consider the interplay between faith, finance, and the human quest for both knowledge and truth. In recent years, the topic of genetically modified organisms, commonly known as GMOs, has drawn significant attention and sparked numerous debates worldwide. As technology has advanced, scientists have developed methods to alter the genetic makeup of crops for various reasons, including improving resistance to pests, enhancing nutritional content, and increasing yield. However, alongside these advancements, a growing number of fears and theories have emerged, alleging that GMOs may pose risks to human health and the environment. One of the primary concerns expressed by many is the potential for unintended consequences resulting from genetic modification. Critics argue that altering a plant's DNA could lead to the production of harmful substances that were not present in the original organism. For instance, there are worries that modified crops might produce allergens or toxins that could negatively impact those who consume them, particularly individuals with specific food allergies. Although numerous studies conducted by scientists and regulatory agencies have consistently found that currently approved GMOs are safe for human consumption, fears linger in the public consciousness. Another area of concern is the long-term health effects of consuming GMO foods. As some critics point out, the long-term effects of a diet rich in genetically modified foods are still unclear. They argue that because GMOs are relatively new on the agricultural scene, the long-term health impacts on humans may not yet be fully understood. This uncertainty can lead to anxiety among consumers, as they question what unseen consequences might arise from integrating genetically modified foods into their diets. In addition to health concerns, there are also environmental implications associated with the widespread use of GMOs. Proponents of natural farming practices argue that relying on genetically modified crops can lead to a loss of biodiversity. As monoculture practices become more common, growing single crops over large areas, there is a risk that traditional, non-GMO crop varieties may become less viable. This loss of biodiversity can have far-reaching implications for ecosystems, potentially leading to reduced resilience against pests and diseases. The narrative surrounding GMOs often includes allegations of collusion and questionable practices by large agricultural companies, which adds an element of distrust. Some theorists argue that these corporations, motivated by profit, may suppress information about the potential dangers of GMOs to maintain their market dominance. They claim that important studies demonstrating possible risks are either ignored or underfunded, leading to a lack of transparency in the industry. This perceived cover-up strengthens the notion among many that GMOs might not be safe, fostering skepticism and fueling conspiracy theories. Moreover, the debate around GMOs extends into ethical and philosophical realms. Some argue that humanity should not intervene in natural processes, suggesting that altering the genetic code of living organisms is inherently dangerous. They advocate for a return to traditional farming techniques, fearing that reliance on technological modifications may lead to unforeseen repercussions that could alter food ecosystems irreparably. With social media serving as a platform for sharing opinions and information, myths and fears surrounding GMOs often spread rapidly. This environment can amplify anxieties, as individuals encounter testimonials from people who claim to have experienced negative health effects from consuming genetically modified foods. Anecdotal evidence sways public perception, despite the lack of scientific validation. This highlights the challenge faced by scientists and educators in combating misinformation and fostering a better understanding of GMOs based on facts rather than fear. Despite these concerns, many individuals also advocate for the benefits of GMOs, presenting a balanced perspective in the ongoing discussion. Supporters argue that GMOs can play a crucial role in addressing global food security by providing crops that can grow in challenging climates or with reduced pesticide use. They emphasize that genetic modifications can lead to increased nutritional value in staple foods, potentially alleviating deficiencies in populations around the world. Furthermore, it is essential to consider the rigorous testing that GMOs undergo before they reach consumers. Regulatory agencies in many countries scrutinize these products through extensive research and assessments to evaluate their safety and potential risks. Such processes are designed to ensure that any GMO introduced into the market is deemed safe for human consumption and the environment. However, even with scientific backing, the conversation surrounding GMOs remains deeply polarized. Engaging in this dialogue with an open mind is crucial, as it sheds light on the complexity of food production in a rapidly changing world. Understanding the perspectives on both sides can provide valuable insights into our food systems and how best to navigate the challenges they present. In conclusion, the narrative involving GMOs is multifaceted, with fears and theories surrounding their safety continuing to proliferate. As technological advancements in agriculture evolve, fostering open dialogue and promoting scientific literacy will be vital. While fears about GMOs may persist, it is essential to approach the subject with curiosity, balancing caution with the potential benefits that these innovations can provide to global food security and health. By staying informed and engaged, individuals can better understand the complexities of GMOs and their role in modern agriculture. Fidel Castro, the iconic leader of Cuba, passed away on November 25, 2016. His death marked the end of an era for a figure who had been at the forefront of Cuban and global politics for nearly 6 decades. However, the circumstances surrounding his death have sparked extensive speculation and discussion, raising questions not just about the actual date, but also about the cause of his demise. Officially, Castro's brother, Raúl Castro, announced his death during a televised address, stating that Fidel had died at the age of 90 after a long battle with illness. Many reports indicate that he suffered from various health issues in his later years, including a serious intestinal ailment that required surgery in 2006 and led to his gradual withdrawal from public life. However, some conspiracy theorists and skeptics have suggested that the official narrative may not capture the full story. One line of speculation centers around the timing of his death. Some observers believe that the announcement was strategically timed to coincide with the evening hours in Cuba, allowing the news to reach people during a time of relative quiet and reflection. The timing may have also been intended to manage the public's response and to control the narrative surrounding Castro's legacy. The Cuban government has been known to tightly manage information, particularly regarding politically sensitive matters. Another aspect that draws speculation is the cause of his death. While the official statement suggests a natural decline due to age and health complications, there are whispers of alternative theories, including the idea that he may have been poisoned or suffered from prolonged effects of the numerous assassination attempts attributed to the CIA during his rule. Some of these attempts involved elaborate schemes, from exploding cigars to poison-laced foods, highlighting the lengths to which adversaries were willing to go to remove him from power. This history fuels discussions about whether such efforts may have had lingering effects even years later. Moreover, in the years leading up to his death, reports indicate that Castro had become increasingly frail, often appearing in public less frequently and making fewer speeches. Some have speculated that he may have faced pressure from within his own party and government to step back, as Cuba was undergoing significant changes, especially with the thawing relations between the United States and Cuba under President Obama. Could there have been internal political motives influencing the timing or the portrayal of his health? The reactions to his death revealed a clear divide both internally in Cuba and internationally. Some Cubans expressed sorrow and respect for Castro, viewing him as a revolutionary hero who stood against imperialism and fought for social justice. Others, however, were relieved, interpreting his death as an opportunity for change and a potential shift toward a more open and democratic society. This polarization has further complicated discussions regarding the motivations and implications surrounding his death. After Castro's passing, significant debate arose about how his legacy would be remembered. His supporters lauded his efforts in healthcare and education, arguing that he improved the lives of many Cubans while promoting literacy and universal healthcare. Detractors, on the other hand, pointed to human rights abuses and economic failures during his long regime. This dichotomy has contributed to ongoing discussions and speculations about how his death fit into larger narratives about governance, revolution, and ideology in Cuba and beyond. Furthermore, the notion of estado de emergencia, or state of emergency, was briefly explored by some pundits following Castro's death, questioning whether his passing could incite unrest in Cuba, especially given the constraints on freedoms many had experienced during his rule. Such contemplation illustrated ongoing concerns over the stability of Cuba and the potential for a power vacuum or disruption in governance. Encounters with those who frequently visited Castro in his final years revealed a man who retained a sharp mind despite his declining health. Some suggested that his adeptness at maintaining his personal narrative, even in death, would ensure that history treated him with the respect he believed he deserved. These various perspectives on Castro's final days paint a complex picture of a leader who was simultaneously revered and reviled. As we look back on the events leading to and surrounding Castro's death, it becomes evident that conclusions may remain unattainable. The reality is often layered with political motives, historical reflections, and divergent opinions. The question of when exactly Castro passed, if indeed there was a definitive moment, remains as complex as the figure himself. In the end, Fidel Castro's legacy continues to provoke thought, debate, and intrigue. His life and death remain a testament to the broader struggles between ideology, power, and the complex interplay of personal and political narratives. The mysteries and speculations will likely endure, ensuring that discussions about him evolve while simultaneously revealing the intricate fabric of history itself.